Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Yachts here. It's Saturday morning. It's raining in Toronto, and we're playing the Portland Trailblazers tonight. Raptors at Portland Trailblazers, the second game on this road trip. The Trailblazers played last night, and they lost to Fred VanVleet and the Houston Rockets. So the Trailblazers are on the second night of a back-to-back, and this bodes well. And what I have to tell you right now will really make you feel good. So yeah, let's talk about their injuries real quick because they got a lot of them. Portland has a lot of injuries, guys. In fact, they're not the normal Portland team. This is part of the reason why they've been losing so much lately. And I mean, I'm not upset about it. We can catch a break right now with our current condition. This is the list of injuries for the Trailblazers. They're not necessarily totally out for sure because they say for last night, but I'm going to guess a lot of them, if they were out last night, are not going to be in tonight either. First, Jabari Walker is out with his hip. Jeremy Grant is out with his hamstring. DeAndre Ayton is out with his hand. Scoot Henderson is out with his thigh. Shaden Sharp is out with his abdomen. Malcolm Brogdon is out with his elbow. And Robert Williams III had a successful surgery on his torn ligament in November. He's still out too. So you just hear the names that I just named. They're all the new people they got in Portland in trades this year. Robert Williams III, Malcolm Brogdon, Shaden Sharp, Scoot Henderson, DeAndre Ayton, Jeremy Grant, Jabari Walker. That is a huge portion of the talent of their team. And that's what I'm saying. The people that the Portland Trailblazers are playing right now are people like Delano Banton, who, in fact, last night, Delano against Fred in the Rockets got 30 points last night, 8 rebounds, 5 assists on 4 3-pointers. So we're going to be seeing Delano tonight against the Raptors. He's their starter. He's starting for them right now. So, yeah, we get to play against Delano. And he's playing a lot of minutes, too. Now, they were winning a good part of the game last night against the Rockets. And in the third quarter, the Rockets overtook them in the game and powered to the win by the end. The Trailblazers just don't have a lot of firepower right now. They don't have a lot of talent. So we can beat them. In fact, we need to win tonight. This is a game that the Raptors need to make a statement and show that they can beat a lesser team, because the Trailblazers, even with Scott and Pirtle out, are a lesser team than the Raptors right now. I'm going to say that right now. The Raptors that are healthy can beat the Trailblazers that are healthy. And we need to win this game tonight, guys. Don't mess around. This is one of the ones we can get, and we need to get it. We need to get it. The Raptors' injuries are such. DJ Carton will not play tonight already. His ankle has ruled him out. Bruce Brown will not play tonight due to his knee. Jakob Poeltl and Scotty Barnes also on the injury list. So, yeah, pretty much the same of what we knew about our injuries. No additions, thank God. Yeah, so there you go. All right, our ref crew. Let's get into that right away. Our crew chief is Kevin Cutler, the big ref. He's the huge ref. 14th season out of L.A. His favorite TV show is Homicide, Life on the Street. He likes to listen to Luther Vandross. His favorite book is Positive Intelligence. His favorite meal is chicken, so we can get some chicken for him. He most like to visit Africa. His bucket list is to play 20 of the top 100 U.S. golf courses, and his hidden talent is playing the trumpet. Yeah, Kevin Cutler, we've had him a few times this season. He is that really giant ref. In fact, the last time we had him as a ref, he threw a really crazy jump ball. That was the Brooklyn game. So he reffed the Brooklyn game we won when Ben Simmons tried to steal the ball. Kevin Cutler threw it up, and he bumped Jakob out of the way and threw the ball basically in a way that the Nets could get it and try and jump on us and get a score, but it backfired because Scotty Barnes chased them down and blocked Ben Simmons at the basket. Yeah, that was Kevin Cutler. So that's the last time we saw him was Brooklyn. We won that game. So we won quite a few games with Kevin Cutler this season, so he's not a totally horrible ref for us. Let's see, what is our record this year with him? We are 2-1, and we won the last one. We win 54% of our games, and the Trailblazers win 51%. So the split is 54-51 for the Raptors with crew chief Kevin Cutler. So we've got at least a crew chief on our side. The second ref is Scott Twardowski. We've seen him quite a bit this year. It's interesting. He's from Washington, so he's from his neck of the woods refereeing in Portland. 13th season out of Washington State. His favorite TV show is MASH. His favorite book is Core 52. His favorite meal is steak and mushroom. He likes to play pinochle. He most like to visit Norway. That's a little bit odd for a destination, but hey, Norway's probably pretty cool, honestly. But yeah, most people are putting Italy and other places and stuff. And he's putting Norway. His bucket list is oh yeah, he likes to photograph hot air balloon festivals around the world, and his hidden talent is landscape and astrophotography. Astrophotography, I guess he takes pictures through telescopes. So he likes to take pictures of nebulas. Nebulas. Yeah, Twardowski, we've had him a lot this year, and he's been really good for the Raptors this year, actually. Our record with Scott Twardowski this season is 3-1, which is absolutely amazing considering we've won 3 out of the 4 games he's ref this year. We are 50%, exactly right down the middle historically with him. Meanwhile, the Trailblazers are 53%. So they actually are favored by Scott Twardowski. What do you know? A Pacific Northwest guy favors the Portland Trailblazers. What do you know? So 50 to 53, the split for the Trailblazers with the second ref. The third ref is Derek Richardson, long time ref. D. Rich is a great guy. He's the one who has that charity in the name of his mother. Yeah, he's just a really good dude. D. Rich, but he's not always good for us. He's good for charity and just being a nice guy in the refs circle of people. 27 seasons out of Brooklyn, New York. His favorite TV show is Abbott Elementary. He likes the movie Field of Dreams. He listens to Marvin Gaye. His favorite book is Post Traumatic Slave Syndrome. His favorite meal, plankton, rice and beans and steamed cabbage. His favorite app is Soundhound, and he'd most like to visit Jerusalem and Sierra Leone. Those are war places, man. Why do you want to go see war, Derek Richardson? That's messed up. Come on now. You want to go there when it's peaceful? Man, those places are war torn. Why would you go there? Seriously. All right. Derek Richardson is, we won the last game he refed this year. It was the only game he refed. So we've had some good records with these refs this season. We win 52% of our games. And meanwhile, the Blazers win 56%. So it's 52 to 56 for the Trailblazers with Derek Richardson, the third ref. So the crew chief is favoring us, and then the other two are favoring the Trailblazers historically. This ref crew is suspicious to me. I mean, we had such a bad ref crew in the last game, but we have to think about things. Is there a Kevin Durant? Is there a LeBron James? Is there a big name on the Trailblazers that they're protecting? Or do they care about the Trailblazers losing to the Raptors? No, they don't. No, they don't. They cared about the Suns losing to us. They cared about the Lakers losing to us. So they send a ref crew to make sure that kind of shit doesn't happen. Well, I don't know if they care if we beat the Trailblazers tonight. So I don't really expect the referees to have any kind of weird bias like they did in the last game we just saw them in Phoenix. So I think we have a really good shot to win today, guys. I really do. We got to stop Delano Banton. It really is come to that full circle moment where we got to stop Delano Banton. And I think that's kind of crazy. Wow, thanks, Chris. Thanks for the super chat, my guy. That's awesome. What a nice guy. Thank you, Chris. 2637. What is that? Is that a score? I wonder what the significance of that number is. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I really appreciate it, Chris. You're awesome. Yeah, listen, Delano tonight, we're going to play him. Toronto's own against Toronto tonight. I like Delano on the Trailblazers way more than Boston. It made me so happy in some ways that they traded him to Portland so that I didn't have to root against him or be mad at him for playing for such a ugly colored jersey team. And well, he's excelling. He's in the absence of all these guys and all the injuries. Delano's getting run out on the Trailblazers, and he's been stringing together some very good games. Very good games. So let me go look at the Portland Trailblazers roster since so many of them are hurt. Who the hell are we going to see playing tonight? Well, our Anthony Simmons is probably the one guy we know that's probably their best player left over that isn't hurt. Simons, Anthony Simons. He's that guard that's kind of annoying. They've got a guy named Termani Kamara. I'm not even sure who he is. He's probably a rookie. Chris Murray, the brother of Keegan Murray, has been getting more play and starting. Matisse Thybulle, formerly of the Sixers, is on the Blazers and getting run, but he comes off the bench. He doesn't start. Duop Reith, I don't know who that is. He's a center. Delano. Ashton Hagans. Ashton Hagans, a former 905 from a couple years ago. He has made his way to making this team. Guess who's starting at center for the Trailblazers tonight, guys? Guess who? We're going to get to see a whole memory lane. Moses Brown. Moses Brown will be the starting center for the Trailblazers tonight, just so y'all know. This is what we're dealing with. It's going to be a lineup of Delano Banton, Anthony Simons, Chris Murray, Moses Brown. Yeah, that's who they're starting. Termani Kamara. That's who they're starting. Rayon, Rupert, Ibu, Abaji. Yeah, this team, we don't know these guys. So we know Moses, we know Delano, we know Chris Murray because he's the cousin or the twin brother of Keegan. We know Matisse Thybulle. We know Anthony Simons. But no Scoot, no DeAndre Ayton, no Jeremy Grant, no Malcolm Brogdon. You know, the Malcolm Brogdon may be the one we're really happy is kind of out because he seems to always kill the Raptors. Yeah, the Trailblazers, half of them, most of them are all hurt and gone. So we need to win tonight, Raptors. We need to win. We've got IQ. We got RJ. We can beat them. Those are the best players coming to this game tonight. And they need to kick their asses. That's just my educated opinion on looking at teams and injuries and who's been doing what. The other thing is they've only won 2 out of their last 13 games, guys. That's right. They have a much worse record than us, and they have not been winning lately. So we need to beat them. The fact that they beat us in the second game of the season at the beginning of the year was a travesty. And we need to remember that, even if it's not the same team in any kind of way. Who will remember this? Gary? Maybe you should, because you were there for both of them, Gary Trent Jr. Yeah, that's your old team too, man. You got a lot of history with Portland Trailblazers. So maybe you need to go there and tell these guys, the new guys, about how they beat us at the beginning of the year and how that was a real bad taste in our mouth. It's like all the people that took the bad loss from Portland at the beginning of the year in Toronto are not on the team anymore, hardly, or hurt. It's like Scotty could tell them. Scotty would be like in his sweater on the sideline saying, guys, we shouldn't have lost to Portland earlier this year. We need to beat them tonight, guys. Seriously, y'all weren't here because y'all are all new, but just trust us. This was bad what happened with Portland at the beginning of the year. We really dropped the ball and let them win a game we shouldn't have lost. Yeah. Payback needs to be reinforced, even if the staff is different from that game, the second game of the season when the Trailblazers stole one from us. It was really crazy. I don't think it was the second game. It was one of the first 5 games of the season that the Trailblazers beat us this year. Yeah, now we need to get back for that. We really owe them get back for that. We really do. All right, let's get into y'all's chat this morning. I love it. Thank you once again, Chris. Very, very generous of you. The super chat, 2637. Is that a score? That sounds like a football score. 26-37. Hut, hut, hut. Canadian Dana's here first. Good morning, everyone. Happy game day. Let's get this win. Let's go, Raptors. Let's go, Canadian Dana. That's right. This is one we can get. 10 o'clock tonight, late game on the West Coast. Portland Trailblazers, Toronto Raptors. Yeah, let's beat them, Dana. I'm with you here. Fiercely saying, Dana, you rock. Good morning, fam, and happy Saturday. Long day today as the game will be at 10 p.m. That's right. Get your nap in the afternoon if you can. It's a rainy day in Toronto. You can maybe snooze a little bit with the little raindrops falling on your window. Yeah, nice little setting to just get a little snooze on a Saturday. Let's see. Fiercely saying we need to get payback from the first game against the Blazers. That's right. Let's go. It will be nice to see Delano. Delano's been playing fantastic. Delano's got more meat on his bones. He looks more strong. And yeah, 30 points last night against Fred. The Rockets were really smart, and they overcame them in the second half, and they just didn't have anything. This is part of the thing. It's like sometimes in these games, just like we've had recently, one team runs out of juice and just can't run with the other team anymore. That's why you need lots of weapons and lots of different people contributing at different times in the game. Well, there's been a couple games recently, like against Dallas and Golden State and Phoenix, where we just run out of juice and we can't hang with those dogs anymore. We can't run with them after the car. And well, Portland couldn't run with the Rockets at a certain point last night and keep up any kind of scoring because it's just that kind of way. I mean, this happened to the 905 last night. I did not watch the whole 905 game. I watched half of it. And at halftime, I knew what was going to happen, so I stopped watching it. I went and watched Dark Side of the Ring with Adriana watching John Tenta episode instead. and I knew I was right because the 905 lost by almost as much as the Raptors did the other day, 141 to 102. Mad Ants getting the revenge on the 905, and basically what happened was Justice Winslow, Muhammadu were out for this game. Justice does not play back-to-backs anymore. So if he is playing in the first game of back-to-back, he will not play the second night. And then Guy, he got hurt in the first game, and he did not appear in the second game. So the Raptors 905 were short-staffed last night. Did not have many guys play. They only played 8 guys, and they just didn't have the juice. They just didn't have the scoring. You know, they had Drake Jeffries in the starting lineup 0 for 6, 0 for 5 from 3 with a goose egg, 31 minutes starting. That's no good. You can't do that, Drake Jeffries. You're a shooter. You should shoot way better. My 3 stars of the game for the Raptors 905 are the brand new Jamias Ramsey was our number 1 star, 23 points, 9 of 15 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3. He looks really good, guys. 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Jamias is maybe a keeper. He did a lot of good things for the 905. And once again, Eric Curry lauding how smart he is and intelligent with his decisions on the court. So he may be a keeper. Seriously, guys, we might want to see Ramsey in the Raptors system for time coming forward. The second star of the game for me is Miles Burns. Miles Burns off the bench. Miles has been quieter in this stretch of the season. He's had some really quiet games where he gets like only a basket, but he woke up last night. 6 of 10 from the field. He hit his only 3-point attempt, 3 of 4 at the free throw line, 4 offensive rebounds, 5 altogether, 1 steal, 18 points in 19 minutes. 19 minutes. 18 points in 19 minutes. I love the scoring per minute for Miles Burns. So, yeah, stepping up off the bench. Yeah, this is the thing. The starters were really bad, and they needed a couple guys off the bench show up, and Miles answered the call. Daryl Morsel's another guy who showed up off the bench to help them, and he's my last star of this game. So it's Jamias Ramsey, Miles Burns, and Daryl Morsel. Daryl Morsel, 23 minutes and 23 points in 29 minutes, 8 of 15 from the field, 4 of 4 at the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. Yeah, Daryl Morsel. The rest of the guys, gross. Kobe Simmons was okay. He didn't shoot as well as he did the game before. Amari Moore had a hard, tough game, but he got a lot of assists. I already mentioned Drake Jeffries. McCurr was not that good. He was boarding good, but he shot really bad. Kevin O'Banner, valiant fight, but 10 points, 9 rebounds. Ron Harper Jr. wasn't there. Why is that name on there? All right. Anyway, yeah, that it's just a sad event. Like they couldn't stop the Mad Ants. The Mad Ants had like 35 points in every quarter, pretty much. They just kept scoring and scoring. 141 to 102, the final score with the 905 yesterday. Barf all over the place. Yeah, it is what it is. It was too good to be true to sweep the Mad Ants. The women. It was the women's empowerment game. Fantastic. The ladies that were calling the game were very into Eric Curry's haircut, and they were saying, "Yeah, he's really looking fresh with his haircut." And I was like, "Okay, all right." Not a bad game in some ways by their call. Of course, I only listened to the first half. Yeah, I don't know. It was an awkward game. And it's too bad the 905 didn't compete better, basically. Yeah, it is what it is. Trevor J's here. Let's see. Trevor J, I've got the classic Cosmic card of the day. He told me that the other box is more newer cards, but I want to do the old ones first. So we're going to do this every day. This is going to be a new segment every single day. Because if Trevor's going to send me these boxes, we're going to have a card of the day every single day. So when I get to Trevor's first comment of the day, we'll do the Cosmic card of the day. And let's do it right now. All right, let's see. What is my random card? Unless, Adriana, do you want to pick the card out for me? No, she's good. She's good. She wanted to look and do it yesterday. And I was like, well, we got to do it on the show. All right, let's see who I got. Oh, wow. I think this is a former Raptor. Lance Blanks? No, maybe he was a former Piston. This is a weird card. This is Lance Blanks of the Minnesota Timberwolves. And it looks like it's Fleer. Fleer, what is the year on there? That's 92-93. So that's pretty old. That's a pretty old Minnesota Timberwolves card from very early in their history. Lance Blanks. There he is. I remember him on the Pistons. Not the biggest name in the NBA. But there you go. Card of the day. Lance Blanks of the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's right. Pistons. He was on the Pistons too. I don't think he ever was on the Raptors. I don't remember him being on the Raptors. He might have been though, honestly. All right, let's see what Trevor's saying. He said, "Good morning, Raptors family. Happy game day. Let's do it against Portland tonight." That's right. We can get this game. We need to get this game. This is a game that's very winnable. We need to capitalize and take care of it and get it. 24 wins by the end of tonight. That'd be fantastic, Raptors. Get to 30. Let's keep going. Come on now. Fiercely saying, saw the open gym episode. Gary's so invested in the community. He doesn't move like someone sabotaging his Raptors tenure. I don't think Clutch and Rich Paul are too invested in making him switch. Yeah, that was a great episode. Very short, but interesting. Community cares. Yeah, I like that. It showed Gary with a young design crew designing T-shirts and clothing for a cause that he's very feels strongly for. He's talked about this often, and he's done many events in the last few years about making more notice on men's health, and specifically Black men's health. Because this is true. A lot of times people they kind of ignore going to the doctor until it's too late. In fact, he inspired me yesterday. I'm listening to Gary talk about everybody needs to go get their numbers checked, is what he said. Everybody needs to go get their, baby, you're being loud. Everybody needs to go get their numbers checked. And I'm like, man, he's right. I need to go to the doctor and get my numbers checked. So he's being a good influence for people to get good health and go check out how they're doing, because preventative medicine is the right medicine. You get medicine later when you didn't prevent it, that's bad. That is bad. That can really be bad for you. So I love Gary's message. And specifically, he's speaking to Black men because in some ways, there's not enough influence on them to go do this. And sometimes the outcomes for Black men and these kind of things can be really bad. Because, much like DeMar's talking about the stigma of talking mental health in Black men, this is a similar kind of thing in some ways, that we need to have more awareness and more out there to, influence men to go check on their health and not be stubborn and proud and stuff. So Gary's a huge proponent of carrying that flag and teaching people. In some ways, he's being the DeMar DeRozan of this topic. And I commend him for it. I think you're right, too. Fiercey, that the open gym episode yesterday and things really does show that he wants to be here. We saw amazing pictures on Twitter on Jordan Bolton's account of Gary Trent Sr., Gary Trent Jr., and Jordan in Phoenix visiting with each other on a very sunny day outside. Looks like they're all smiles. I wrote Jordan, I said, it's so good to see King Bolton living the charmed life. Go Raptors. And he's like, bless. Yes, King Jordan. And yes, the Trent family, and of course he was with Grady Dick too. There was a picture of him, talking to Grady Dick too. So yeah, all kinds of good stuff going on with Gary Trent. And if he plays more like he's played recently, all right, we can probably negotiate with him this summer. And I'm all about that. Rich Paul, be nice and reflect your client's wishes. That's what I would say. That's the most important thing for representation, is to reflect your client's wishes. And if Gary Trent Jr.'s wish is to stay in Toronto, well, reflect it, Rich Paul. That's what I would say right there. Reflect that shit. That's right. Yeah. Fiercely saying, so they basically work for him, right? So if he's control and happy here, he would not sign them to do weird PR moves, in my opinion. I agree. I mean, Fred, he wanted the money, obviously. And I mean, you can't turn that money away. If Rockets are going to throw that pile of money at you, you have to say yes. It's just dumb if you don't. You'll regret it. So in some ways, I don't get mad at Fred, because honestly, that's more money that getting that amount of money for his family is such an important achievement for what he wanted in his life. So he got it. And I can't get mad at that. But we'll see. We'll see how Rich Paul represents Gary Trent Jr. this summer. Hopefully it's correctly and to his wishes. That's what I would say right there. Yeah. Yeah. Trevor's saying Rudy Gobert got the technical foul by showing Scott Foster a dollar sign. He said he would every penny. He said it would every penny. I don't know. Okay. So he's messing with Scott Foster. He said something about money. Well, good for him. Right on, Gobert. Do it. Do it, man. Scott Foster's the right one. I'm glad we hadn't seen him refereeing us in a while. 76ers lost last night to the Pelicans. I predicted this in our Facebook chat yesterday. When I saw that matchup, I was like, you know what? The Pelicans are so good right now. They're going to run roughshod over the Sixers last night, and they beat them. They didn't beat them as much as I thought they would. It was single digits, but at one point they were up by 35. Yeah, in the middle of the game, the Pelicans were routing the hell out of the Sixers. And I knew that was going to happen. The Pelicans are playing at such a high level. I was like, yeah, with Sixers without Embiid and what they're doing right now, they're going to get rocked. They're going to get rocked. And I was right. I was right. I can handicap this kind of shit. I can look at it and I'm going to say, look, Pelicans, I just saw them. They're badasses. They're going to rock Nick Nurse and the Sixers. And they did. They did. They rocked them. They rocked them. Chris is saying, so tonight it's Ayton to deal with without a center. We don't have Ayton to deal with. He's not there. Nope. We got to deal with Moses Brown, Chris. That's who we got to deal with. So I think we can deal with Moses Brown. I think that Kelly can handle Moses Brown. Let's just put it that way. He's saying, I hope for a good game from Jonte as well. Chris, Kelly, I hope this hits some threes. Yeah, if you've heard my injury report for the Trailblazers, Chris, you should not be as worried about the Blazers as saying, oh, it's Ayton tonight. It's not Ayton. Ayton's not playing. I'll tell you that right now. DeAndre Ayton is not playing tonight, so you don't have to worry about him. Kareem saying the Pacers front office has a huge decision to make. If we're them, I'm not giving Pascal that max contract. Instead, I'd upgrade Ben Mathurin as a starter and spread money elsewhere, meaning PS coming home. Wow. Kareem has an interesting story he's trying to write here. I don't think this is true, though. I talked to a Pacers fan the other day during the Mad Ants game, the first one, and he said they're very pleased with Siakam. Yeah, I think that you're writing a pipe dream that you want to reroute Siakam back to our team somehow, some way. I mean, I can see the logic in what you're saying is not tying up a max with Siakam for people like Ben Mathurin instead, but that's not what they're going to do. You know that. They wanted him. Everybody's wanted Siakam, and now they got him. They landed him. They're going to invest in him. They're going to give him that max. So you just want some sort of magical way to get him back here. I know that's what it is, Kareem. It's all good. It's all good. Chris is saying, yes, there's no way the Pacers give him the max. I wonder if he still thinks he's worth that amount. I don't understand why y'all are saying that. I think that he will get it. I think he will get it with them. And that's their own choice. In some ways, we were going to have to make that tough decision. Well, that's why we traded him. In some ways, we don't have to make that tough decision. Indiana does. And, well, I think they are going to, because why would they work so hard to get him, trade those first-round picks if they weren't going to do that? Is it because the fit's not good? Is it not working out? No, that's not what I've heard from Pacers fan. They told me he's fitting in really well, and they're very pleased with him. So you guys can think this, but even if you think he's not worth it, which is crazy because we're Raptors fans, that's not what's going to happen what you guys are thinking right now. They're going to re-sign him. He's going to be a Pacer. He will probably get a max. Let's see. Nameless is saying choo-choo on the Raptors 2024 season. Yeah, let's get it over. Like, go right to the end of the last station and get off the train and go out for summer. That's what I'm saying right there. Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff happening yesterday, even though not a whole lot going on, that open gym episode. And Marquise Noel returned to social media last night. And man, I don't know. I think in some ways I like the guy. I really, really do like the guy. Trevor said that he saw him on the Raptors 905 bench last night, still watching the games, still with the 905. I think technically he's still with them. He's just not on the Raptors anymore. I think that's how it works. You lose your two-way, but you're still the rights to the 905. But he's hurt, so he can't play anyway. But he's writing a bunch of crazy stuff on his Twitter last night, and also has Instagram stories. They're a little, let's just say. All right, first of all, let me go on there and read what he's been writing on his Instagram. The first thing he said was, secret things belong to the Lord, and future things are considered secret things. Okay, I don't know. Like, one way's, all right, well, that's cryptic. And you're saying secret things belong to the Lord and future things are considered secret things. Well, this is a good policy. Like, like Darko learning about the dinner reward, a tough lesson as a head coach. In some ways, all your braggadocio of coming in the league on your social media, Marquise, was maybe a tough lesson for you. And maybe this statement is saying, you know what, my future plans need to be secret plans. Instead of me coming in and saying, I'm going to be the greatest Raptor of all time, I'm going to win multiple championships, I'm going to be an MVP, all this kind of stuff. Maybe, like they say, work in secret. Do what you're going to do and get it done before you announce it. In some ways, you say you're going to do something, you fuck yourself up. That's a tough lesson in some ways. And I'm only telling you this because I care about you, my guy. But I think he may have learned this as far as like a tough lesson recently, is that his future things need to be secret things. He needs to stop broadcasting things as such. Now he says later, this is what he said. He said, it's hard being a visionary because you're forced to see things that most people can't see. Now, you got to understand, Marquise, we see what you got. It's not that we can't see what you got. I believe in you. I think you can make the NBA, but you got hurt, and that has nothing to do with it. It's not people. If people are making decisions about you right now, it's solely because of your hamstring. It's not because of your aptitude. It's not because of how good you are. It's not because of how good we think you can be. It's not because of any of your skills or anything like that. It's because of the hamstring. And the only reason why you lost your two-way is because of the hamstring. So it's not that we can't see it. We can see it too. But in some ways, I love your belief in yourself, but your belief in yourself is turning into egotism. And in some ways, that's not going to help you. If you just blindly think that everything is ordained and you're just going to be that guy, you're going to get a reality check. And you've already gotten one to a degree. And I want everything to work out with you, but you're worrying me with the way you act on social media. In some ways, maybe you should not be doing social media because you've written a lot of checks in this past year that people are laughing at you for right now. And it's not Raptors fans, it's other people around the league. And in some ways, you brought it on yourself by being like that on there. And I'm sorry. All right, here's what he's put on his Instagram stories. And he's got this guy, and this is the one that makes me think, all right, this guy may be thinking something with the Raptors. And I don't think it's fair because we gave you your chance, okay? First of all, you need to realize that. This is what it says on the Instagram stories. Treat. Be careful how you treat people. Be careful how you treat people, man. It's certain people God don't play about. Be careful how you treat people. There's a scripture in the Bible say, touch prophets, no harm. No, God, no, on no side. I don't know. Some things like he's saying, like, be careful how you treat me because I'm a chosen one and that the Lord has my path all ahead of me. And if you go against me, you will feel the wrath, is basically what he's saying in his Instagram stories. Now, I don't know if this is directed at the Raptors, if any of these decisions about taking his two-way away from him. I don't know where this is coming from, Marquise, but chill. If you are still sitting on the Raptors 905 bench, you still have a path. You've got to understand, just because you have a setback, you don't want to burn down your bridge. In some ways, Ron Harper Jr. did not burn a bridge with the Raptors when he left, because in some ways that bridge may open up and he could come back. And you need to realize that also. So be real careful. Even if you're hurting, even if you got a setback because you're hamstring and you lost your two-way, you do not want to completely destroy a relationship. Just trust me. That's not the way you do business in the NBA. And if the Raptors did something that upset you or you feel that wasn't fair, well, motherfucker, you're hamstring. Is what I'm going to say right now. Come on now. So, yeah, don't threaten us. Don't act like, oh, if we cut you or you're not on our team anymore, like you're going to come around and come get us. Okay, well, if it's going to be like that, it's going to be like that, Marquise. But it didn't have to be like that. Let's just say that. It didn't have to be like that. And honestly, I'm still rooting for you. So get your head out of your ass. And seriously, work on getting healing and just work on your game and shut the fuck up on social media. Seriously, you're going to dig your own problems continuously if you continue to get on there and say stuff like you've been doing this year. I realize at this point now you may not be totally grounded in reality. And there's some things that are going on right now. You need to remember, once again, you're 5'7", and you're trying to make the NBA right now, okay? So in some ways, humbleness is important with you. Seriously, I get it. You got to be bigger than you are and your personality and your ways to get to where you are. I know that's how you did it. You're amazing. You are absolutely amazing. But let's not cloud our lives with blind egotism, which is being substituted for worship with God, and that you're anointed, chosen one, that if you're going to fuck with that path, you're in trouble, is what he's trying to say. No, there ain't no wrath of God in this shit. Come on, let's get real here. Your hamstring teaches you God right there, bro. That anything can come and go. If that's the test that he's given you, you need to follow that test and play it right. And don't burn down bridges while you're doing it. That's not the way to operate in the NBA, because there's only a few bridges you get. Trust me, only a few bridges you get, and how you deal with those bridges is seen around the league. And then people will be like, "Yeah, nah, we're not taking a flyer on him." So be real careful. It's your health that's fucking you up. It's not the Raptors. It's not anything else. It's your hamstring, Marquise. So seriously, just chill. Chill is what I'm trying to tell you right now. Chill out. Chill out. Yeah, name is the same. We play hot potato with OG and Pascal resigning dilemma, not our pig, not our farm. Yeah. Yeah, those guys, those in some ways they're headaches to deal with, whether you do a max with them or not. Man, OG, I'm exactly right about OG. I told Mil Bester and the New York Knicks fans, he's going to take a little longer than you think. They're going to tell you he's going to be ready in a week, and it'll be another week after that. So Knicks fans, he is in practice again. He's practicing. He's taking full contact, but don't expect them to come right back or right away just because. This is how OG works. We know. Raptors Nation knows. We've been around him for a long time with his injuries and coming back and forth. He always comes back a little later than you think he will. He'll take that extra game of rest. He's not rushing back. Seriously, he will take his time, and he'll be back soon. Meanwhile, in the starting lineup for the Knicks, Precious Achiuwa. Yeah, that guy was awesome last night. A double-double with 5 blocks. He really has got the apple of the eye of the Big Apple last night. Ben Stiller overjoyed with Precious, saying, New York loves Precious. And Precious said after the game, I came here as a little kid, and New York has always treated me well. And I love you, New York. I'm so happy to be back home, playing for my hometown team and kicking butt for it. So there's not anything to hate on this. I told y'all about Precious when he showed up. Let him have his time. He will come around and you will love him. He may have came in, he may have looked a little and stuff like that when he first started. But boy, are you guys happy with him now, aren't you? New York Knicks Nation. You know, in some ways, all the people that were haters of Precious, well, y'all were wrong. I was right, because look at what he did last night. Seriously. Everybody who thought Precious wasn't good on the Raptors, well, I was told you were wrong, and he needed to be here still, and we're seeing it there in New York now in some ways. Everybody who thought that Precious was just like Malachi and some buffoon off the bench, no, you were wrong. You were wrong, and I'm right. I was vindicated last night because Precious Achiuwa is a good NBA player. He's going to get better and better, and I wish he was still a Raptor. Knicks fans are happy. They're giddy. They're like, man, the Raptors are so dumb to give us Precious. In some ways, they're acting like how I acted towards Miami when we got him. I was like, man, he's so good. Why is Miami thinking letting him come to us? That's how New York's feeling right now. They feel like they fleeced us. That's what they're trying to say. We got OG and Precious. We fleeced them. Well, y'all did trade us RJ and Emmanuel, and we do get a draft pick still. And y'all got Malachi in the deal. So in some ways, yeah. Okay, let's see who we draft with your draft pick in the first pick of the second round, and then we'll line it up and see. And once again, Emmanuel Quickly is looking like he's going to be real good, real good. So yeah, y'all can feel real good about the parts you got, and we can too. The RJ Canada thing is awesome. It's just like Precious in New York. It's just like it. I'm so happy and proud of Precious. Keep going, Precious. Keep going. You're my guy. And I know you're a badass in this league. And everybody who thought he sucked, y'all were wrong. Y'all were wrong. And he's going to continue to prove that. I'm telling y'all, seriously, Precious is not a shit player. Precious is not a low IQ player. Precious is a high level player. And he played it like that last night. He damn for sure did. Yeah, there's my Knicks talk. Where's Mil Bester? Oh, yeah, he's not here anymore. That's right. Let's see. But yeah, they're going to have some tough decisions because OG's injury prone. Do you invest in OG like that? And Siakam? Yeah, they got to think about this. That's a lot of money to put in that spot. They got the decisions. We don't have them. We can start over and clear slate and get a whole bunch of young people and pay them cheap. Yeah, that's what the Raptors going to do. That's right. Let's see. Name is saying, I love the guy too, but come on, let's be real here for a moment. 40 plus million next season? I don't know. I mean, in some ways, New York Knicks fans may say, yeah, he's worth it. He's a shutdown. He's a water stopper. He's a plumber. In some ways, OG is way loved in New York. So is Precious. These guys are so loved there right now. These guys can get that money. We know New York will overpay people. It's not going to be the problem. Paying him is not going to be the problem. They may complain about his money later when he's hurt half the time, but it's not going to be a problem for New York to pay him and not worry about it. Seriously, they'll do it. They'll do it. They may complain about it later and say, "Oh, he's always hurt. Why did we pay him this much?" Well, that could be happening later. I could see that. Trevor's saying Russell had a career high 42 points. Russell. Which Russell? You got to elaborate. There's too many people in this league that have the name Russell. Russell Westbrook, D'Angelo Russell. I don't know you mean. I cannot answer this. I guess it's not Russell Westbrook because he broke his hand. So you're saying D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, give me two names, Trevor, because there's a lot of names that are common between players. So you mean D'Angelo Russell? I don't give a fuck about D'Angelo Russell or the Lakers. Fuck them. Fuck that NBA news shit, Trevor. You're always bringing me NBA news. I want Raptor news. I want stuff that has to do with the Raptors. I don't care about the Lakers. Fuck them. Monique is saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family, and happy game day. Bring effort like last game. You never know what happens. It's Portland. Very winnable game. I'm not commenting much, but I'm here. All right, Mo, we love you. I appreciate you so much. And yeah, this is a very winnable game, Mo. We need to win this game. I'm going to say this right now. We're going to win this game tonight, Mo. I'm going to say, like, if I'm looking at all these different games this week, this is the most winnable game since Charlotte. Charlotte was a winnable game. I'm going to say we should have won against Charlotte on Sunday, and we did. Well, I'm going to say the same damn thing tonight. If the leading scorer of the Portland Trailblazers is going to be Delano Ban, we better beat them. We better beat them because he has been recently. You heard my laundry list. The Portland Trailblazers are out. Scoot Henderson, DeAndre Ayton, Malcolm Brogdon, Shaden Sharp, Jeremy Grant. They're all out. None of their main big players, most of their starters are out. So we should beat them. We should very much beat them, Mo. I love you, and I hope you're having a great Saturday so far. I'm really looking forward to the Coach's Open House and the good times we're going to have at Real Sports and just hanging out and having our camaraderie of the Raptor Freak family all together once again. I can't wait for that Tuesday. A week from this coming Tuesday, we'll be there at the Coach's Open House. Nako's saying he's not going to get it. Pascal is worth Jaylen Brown money. He's not going to get it. What do you mean? Jaylen Brown's making the most money out of anybody in this whole league. You think he's going to get that? I think he could. Chris, thank you once again. Have a good weekend to you, my guy. Thank you once again. Fiercely saying, agreed with Nameless. As much as I admire Pascal and OG and was sad of their departure, I understand we now have flexibility to sign someone else in the offseason. Yeah, in some ways, this is the way we can improve. When we were looking at these guys for an extended look the first half of the season, we really were kind of seeing if there was like even more we could do. Like in some ways, they're evaluating value for money. And in some ways, if they couldn't in clear conscience just do the extensions with these guys because they didn't feel like tying up that amount of the salary cap with no flexibility was worth it with them, with the ceiling of the wins we could get with them, well, that's just good GMing. That's just good projecting and understanding and looking at everything. And that's why, in some ways, I really trust Masai and Bobby, because it may be some GMs will make the easy decision and say, yeah, we're just reinvesting our guys who love being here. But it means you will be mediocre down the road because that amount of money is tied up in them and you don't have room for growth as much. That's what I'm saying. They made the tough decision, the hard decision to let go of good franchise guys that everybody loved, and they could have just stayed here if we invested in them. That was the tougher and harder decision, and it was the right one. Because in some ways, people say, well, Siakam, we wanted to be here. We love him. He could be on this team right now. Well, the money we're going to put into him, we can invest it in different ways. We may get more out of it. That's the thing right there. And this is the dilemma for the Knicks and the Pacers right now. Definitely. Now, do you guys feel good about investing in Emmanuel Quickley this summer? Do you feel like it'd be worth it to give him $25 million a year? I feel like it would be. I feel like that it may be by the end of that contract, depending on how long it is, he may be a real cheap deal because Emmanuel has a ceiling and a growth that he can do even from where he is now to really make it that money very much a good deal, even if we pay him $25 million a year. The Knicks were not willing to do that. That's part of the reason why they put him in that deal. They did not. They figured out their books, and they're like, we can't afford to put that much money in a backup point guard. Well, on our team, he's not a backup point guard. He's a starter. So he's going to get starters money for us, but he wouldn't have gotten it in New York. So it all worked out really well. In fact, Emmanuel is walking the path of God also, and he is very grateful for the blessings that come into him. In fact, that's on his Instagram stories. Let's go do his Instagram stories. Instead of fire and brimstone coming from Mr. New York City, Mr. Emmanuel quickly is saying oh my gosh, 20, he's got his stat line first on there, and he's saying, Lord, when you do it for me, do it for those who looked out for me too. Amen. That's right, Emmanuel. So he's like, listen, he's going to get that bountiful rewards and things and glory and gratitude things in his life. He wants it for the people that were there to help him along too. It was such an unselfish kind of idea of like, if I'm going to get there, I want the people that push me along and help me to get there to get help too in their lives and the ways that help it too. What an abundance mindset. What a giving mindset. What a outside of your head kind of mindset. That, everybody who's had a part in my journey and getting me here, I want them to get their just rewards and desserts also. That's a beautiful thing. And in some ways, that's the point guard. That's the mentality I want with a man of faith on my team. Not fire and brimstone, Marquise Noel. What is this, my guy? Seriously, don't threaten the Raptors organization if that's what you're doing. Because honestly, we gave you your shot. We gave you your shot. Is it our fault that your hamstring got pulled? No. So why the fuck are you going to get mad at us? We've got to do business. This is the NBA, guy. It's the NBA. We have to do business. We got to do what's best for the team. And unfortunately, look, hopefully the door will open back up for you. And I'd like it to be with us still. I really would. Don't mess with the bridge. Don't burn it. This is what I'm saying right now, Marquise. Don't burn that bridge. Seriously, my guy. You do not want to do that. Definitely not. Yeah, really check out the open gym with Gary. It's short. I wish it was longer. I feel like we haven't gotten enough Gary content on open gym. So it's really nice to see the little short episode with him. Interesting company. The care community cares company, courtside cares. Good stuff though. Let's see what else is in the Instagram stories. That's about it. I mean, I guess I could go look at who's that? Slim Duck? Slim Duck. Okay, he's got a nice picture of his mother. He was celebrating his mom on International Women's Day yesterday with the Slim Duck Foundation. Join the Slim Duck Foundation as we celebrate the impactful women in our lives. And he's got a great picture of his mother on there. It's really fantastic stuff. I love seeing that. The journey with Chris and his mom has been up and down, and it's really, really awesome that they're in such a great place at this point in their lives. So fantastic. All right, yeah, that's the Instagram stories. That's pretty much it. Let's see what else you guys are saying here. Yeah. Fiercely saying someone who will complement our new and younger core. Yeah, we'll have to see. Fiercely saying, do we know why Delano was traded from Boston? What was the reason? I don't think that anybody should be worried about this kind of stuff. It's like even the stuff that came from Toronto, I think we're overthinking this. Like everybody wants to make a big, huge reason for why Delano Banton left the Toronto Raptors. There really isn't one. It's basically this. I'll tell you. I mean, everybody speculated it was because he had trouble being in his hometown. That may be a little bit of part of the reason why the Raptors didn't want to re-sign him, but the whole decision was a business decision. There's always roster turnover in the offseason. And we made the decision not to go forward with him. He became a free agent and he signed with the Celtics. I can't really read into that much more than that. I can't say, it's because of issues being the hometown kid playing in his hometown. I can't say that. That could be. We don't know for sure. All I can say is business decisions. That's the reasons why. That's the only way we can look at this, Fiercey. The business decision was to not have a roster spot for him this year. So he went to Boston. He played with Boston for a while. Boston saw him. They saw what he was. And they're like, you know what? We're going to throw him in the deal with Portland. And he's going to go to Portland now. It's business decisions. We can't read into this much more than that. It's just roster moves. And as much as any player like Bruce Brown coming to Toronto or this, it's just a move. And we shouldn't really try and read into it as there's some sort of secret reason why. No, he got traded to Portland. It's just like any other NBA transaction. And that's all it is. Yeah. Let's see. Duop Reith. I think that's how you say it. Duop Reith. Yeah, Duop Reith. You know him? Yeah. Name is saying Norway is one of the greatest places on earth. I think so too, because first of all, it's one of the happiest places on earth. They are always at the top of the happy index, as far as like Japan and Norway are two of the happiest places in the world. And then also they live the longest. There's a correlation to this happiness and living longer and being community and looking out for each other. There's correlations in societies around the world where there's a more of a community and looking out and socialization, socialized medicine, socialized schooling, free schooling programs, daycare for mothers that's free, all this great socialism in the countries of Japan and Norway, and people get the best health and life outcomes. They're happy, they're taken care of, they're content, they live longer, they work harder, they have better production. There's all kinds of good things about it. Norway is a very, very advanced country in this world. They're doing it right more than everybody else. In fact, countries like Japan and Norway need to be looked at and studied by the shitty countries that aren't doing things right, US, even Canada, and get more like them. That's what I would say right there. That's right. Norway, Denmark, Sweden, great places. Yeah, I've been to Denmark and Sweden. I've never been to Norway, though. But Denmark and Sweden, pretty cool. I went to Legoland. Fiercely saying, I would have loved to see the self-proclaimed dominate us in the paint. Not. Yeah, no, he's not here. He's not going to be there. No Aiton. You'll see him in street clothes if you see him on the bench. So, yeah, you ain't going to see Aiton tonight. I mean, if I have to check the injuries later, it may change. I don't know. They didn't play last night. Let's just put it that way. Wayne's saying, I saw Marquise Noel on the 905 bench. Any explanation, Lexicon? Well, I mean, they said we saw him too. I think I saw him too. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm going by what his social media is saying. He's still sitting on the bench with the 905. Bro, it's your injury. Marquise, just get your hamstring right. If you're mad at anybody, get mad at your hamstring. Don't be mad at the Raptors. Don't be mad at Masai and Bobby. Don't be mad at Eric Curry. It's your health. Your health messed you up, and nobody touched you. You did it you were running up the court, and you were hurt, and nobody was touching you. You can't blame another player. You can't blame anything other than your hamstring just popped while you ran up the court. That's the only reason why this season went this way, Marquise. It's the only reason why you missed the G League All-Star game. So don't get mad at other people. This is just, as you said, God's plan. It's going to make you go through adversity so you really earn it and you really feel the reward later. And we are your friend. We're not trying to screw you over. This team has to do what is best for itself, but you can help us and you can be a part of it still. So don't burn no bridges is what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah. I guess he's just sitting on the bench. I think we still have his rights. It's just that we took him off two-way because realistically he's not going to play for the Raptors for the rest of the year. If he gets healthy and he, by the end of this month, he can play a couple games for the 905. They only have 8 more games, though. He has to get healthy very soon if he's going to get out there and do it. It may be this whole season's a wash. It may be he sees the writing on the wall, and he's like, okay, I may be with 905 for the rest of the season, but this summer I'm going to be a free agent, and I'm going to circle back and try and be a Raptor killer at some point. I think that's what he's trying to say on there. Seriously, I don't know what's going on. Fiercely saying, interesting, Wayne. He put out a weird IG story. Not sure if he's throwing us a jab, but if you've seen him on the bench, I misread it. Yeah, I'm trying to figure this out right now, too, Fiercely. That weird Instagram story he sent out about, yeah, don't threaten us, Marquise. Seriously. Don't threaten us. I mean, seriously, if you want to be a Raptor killer, you want it to go that way, so be it. So be it. But honestly, we're your friends. We're your allies. We love you, guy. Don't turn on us. We're not turning on you. The fans aren't. We love you. If the front office has to do front office things, well, the front office has got to do front office things. And you've got to understand that. You got to take your ego out of it. In some ways, look, you can be all Christianity and religious, but if your ego's too big and you can't get around it and you have blind spots because of it, that's your own damn fault. That's your own damn fault. You cannot be so engrossed in your religion and Christ and everything and have blind spots like that if your ego is so huge. So seriously, the reality checks of life may be hitting you, my guy. And that's all it is. A hamstring can happen. You're human. As Bismack said, God had to teach me that I am susceptible as a human. And I fainted when SGA just came up to me. Some people are trying to say SGA got him the vibes and he fell over after that. It's like SGA tapped Bismack on the hand. I saw how it happened now. And Bismack fell straight back like this. And they're trying to say like SGA has powers. It's so weird. But that's what I'm saying. That humbled Bismack Biyombo. So in some ways, you're going about this the whole wrong way, Marquise. In some ways, the hamstring injury should humble you to a degree, as far as like, man, I'm going to have to work even harder. The Lord has put an even tougher path in front of me at this point. And that is what you got to realize, my guy. You will get through there. But you can't bring all this fire and brimstone religiosity in this. It's not going to serve you. It's going to really hurt you. In some ways, your social media has been hurting you all year. And you're continuing to do it with this crazy, weird, cryptic shit. You can't do this. You're famous. You can't do this. We see it. And you hear me talking about it now, because you do this shit. If you don't do this shit, none of us know you're going through this shit in your mind. In some ways, your thoughts and things that you're thinking about in your mind right now, your career and stuff, doesn't need to be served publicly to everyone. It's not going to help you. Let's just put it that way. You may think it's an outlet for you to get stuff off your chest. This is not healthy. Trust me. This is dangerous for you. It's dangerous. A crazy old head like me who has nothing going on in his life, he can pour his heart out and it doesn't matter. But you have an NBA career in front of you, a basketball career in front of you, and you cannot treat it like this, Marquise Noel. You cannot treat it like this. So get off social media. Just do it seriously. It'll be much better for you. Trust me. It'll be much better for you at this point. Seriously. G's saying, so maybe waiving a player doesn't mean they can't still play on the G League team. Yeah, I don't know if they actually waived him. They did say they waived him. I don't know. This is totally unclear. Maybe he just showed up and they're like, Eric's like, why is Marquise here? I don't know. He's just here. I don't know. Is he psycho like that? It's like, we waived him. He's not supposed to be here. And he's putting all this Instagram stuff up. I don't know. In some ways, the rights are still with the 905. Well, he sits on the 905 bench. Whose bench is he going to sit on? He hasn't played with anybody else. So I think he's still on the 905, technically. He's just not on the Raptors anymore. Nameless is saying, Darko's rotations in the team's effort tonight will confirm the direction we're going this season. Yeah, I could see Chris playing again tonight. He could play again tonight. We'll see. I think this is a good statement. I think this is true. We'll see the guys who are getting to play. We'll see if Abaji's healthy. In some ways, I'm wondering if Abaji will get to play as much because he seemed kind of half hurt this week. We'll have to see. I'm very curious to watch the rotations. It's a 9-man rotation with guys subbing in and out off the bench. Is it going to be Jonte or Boucher tonight? Is it going to be Jonte or Boucher? I'll say this. The Trailblazers are a younger team, inexperienced. Maybe it is better to play younger and inexperienced players because you can get away with it in this game. It's less vet opponent. Well, it's an easier game for these young guys to do good things and excel because the competition is just as like green as you are in some ways. So I could see that being part of what happens with the rotation tonight. Match the youth with youth. Wayne saying, my assumption is that his medical rehabilitation might still be covered by the Raptors. Just don't know how to assess it. This is probably true. I think Wayne's nailed it on the head. That if he's getting medical health for his hamstring, the Raptors are doing it. They did it with Jeff Doughton before. We helped Jeff Doughton all last summer, even though he was not going to really be part of our plans. We were just very kind and nice to him and helped him get through his ankle injury in the summer last year, just for him to go and join up with the Blue Coats because we didn't invest in him in training camp. So, I mean, this is true. This is probably exactly right. His rehabilitation's with us. Maybe he's upset inside and he's like, I don't like the direction or what you guys are saying. Maybe we're being very upfront with him and saying, yeah, I don't know if we're going to keep you next year. I don't know. He is upset though on social media. I can see that. Let's see. Nameless is saying, if we lose tonight, it's mission accepted. Operation Warp Speed. Full speed ahead into the inner rim. This is funny. I don't know what you're exactly saying here, Nameless. It sounds like Star Wars talk. But I'll go ahead and give you I'm going to give you a dunk. I'll give you just a dunk. The inner rim. I think that's where that big worm thing ate the Millennium Falcon. And they're all in there and they're like, think they're in a cave. And it's like, wait, the cave's moving. What's going on, Han? Is that where the inner rim is? I don't know. Let's see. Tom Dookie is here. Tom Duke is in the house. He's got a little wizard guy or something. I don't know. It's a little star. Everything's on its way up. He's pointing up. He's got okay. There's some sort of like, yeah. I think I read what your language is saying here. I see the cup at the end, Tom. I love it. Tom's language is so beautiful. It's a beautiful language. Fiercely saying, I cannot speak for African or other Caribbean countries, but I know for a fact Haitian black men hate going to the doctor and do not take their meds seriously. Huge problem in the community. This is exactly why Gary's doing what he's doing. It's exactly why. He's probably had people in his life that he really cared about, and they didn't do something, and there was a bad outcome. And in some ways, he's trying to save more people from going through that. And I love it. In some ways, this is his bread and butter, a cause. He's done many events that have to do with this cause. They did a big charity run in Columbus to bring up awareness about Black men checking their health, older Black men checking their health, because this is honestly a serious problem. I'm sure you're saying that this is a problem with Haitian Black men, that they just don't want to go check. I can relate to that in some ways myself. So I need to go myself. It's a great influence Gary's having. He's got me wanting to go to the doctor and get my numbers checked. So everybody should do it. And you know what? In some ways, he's targeting a particular demographic. But honestly, it's a good message for everybody: men, women, whatever color, whatever age. Stay on top of your health and be preventative and checked out, so that if there are things that are starting to happen to you, you can catch it early and have a better health outcome. That's definitely for sure right there. Yeah. Cowboy saying, good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Good morning to you, Bradley. Pow, 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 pow. Yeah. Excuse me. Let me get a water real quick. All right. Wayne's saying, medical messages are imperative in that demographic cohort. I know personally many who think a colonoscopy is close to homosexuality. Just dumb. See, that's what I'm saying. In some ways, there's a certain strength that you have to exude. And if you show any weakness, people like think you're a punk or something. Like, there's really dumb kind of generalization ideas about masculinity and men in certain circles and certain friendship social circles that are just not helpful to anyone or beneficial. In some ways, it's stupid. It's dumb. And if anybody thinks a colonoscopy is homosexual, man, you're not even awake. What's going on there? That's crazy. Name is saying Moses Brown is about to come out and have a career night against us. No, he's not. No, he's not. You know what? Let me go look at him recently. Because seriously, we can look at what he's done in games recently. I can tell you what he got last night. I can tell you what he got, his stat line. Let's see what he's doing. And before we get all worried about Moses Brown killing us. All right, let's see. He didn't even start the game last night. They started Duo Reith instead, but Brown came off the bench. He had 10 minutes. He scored 4 points. He got 5 rebounds. He shot 2 for 6. That's what he did. But Duo Reith in the starting lineup got 16 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. So, yeah, man, I'm telling you, this is who they played last night. Kamara, Chris Murray, Duo Reith, Anthony Simons, and Delano Banton. That's their starting lineup. And they got Mignana, Moses Brown, Matisse Thybulle, Ashton Higgins, and Rupert off the bench. Who the fuck are half those guys? Seriously. So what are we worried about? What are we worried about with the Portland Trailblazers tonight? No, we just need to beat them. We just need to beat them. We just need to not get embarrassed and lose to them, because we got most of our players, and they are okay. It looks like Jabari Walker and Jeremy Grant are now day-to-day, so they may be a little bit updated. It could be the worst we see is Jeremy Grant return, and he is dangerous. But if it's his first game back and he's rusty, I'm not worried about that. Chris is saying, then without Ayton, I see a win. Yeah, he's not playing tonight. There's no Scoot. There's so many of their players are not playing tonight. Good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Game day. Cool Cat. Good morning, Cool Cat. Always good to see you, my friend. Nako's saying, as long as the money makes sense with the Pacers' young core. Yeah, with Siakam, yeah, they're going to pay him. He's going to be a Pacer next year. Wayne's saying what Kareem is arguing is that his compensation might be similar to what he's getting now and not a crazy number. He earns 34 to 38 million. Getting another 10 million seems a stretch. Is Pascal worth 50 million? Well, this was part of the disagreement with the Raptors and him while negotiating the extension, while it may have been possibly happening here. They said that they didn't talk much, but I know they did. Todd Rempere was in contact with Bobby Webster. They're just not going to talk about all the little details and how it works because they don't want people to know their process. They probably talked about numbers all over the place. And it could very well be what Wayne and Kareem are saying. The numbers were like, we want to pay you kind of what you were getting paid already. But they're like, no, we want to get the increase. the full increase of what we can get. In some ways, the Raptors are like, well, we want to just keep paying you what you're paying right now. And they're like, no, we want to try and get more. So let's see what the Pacers are willing to do with Siakam and Todd Rempere. It could be that they're willing to pay him $50 million a year. But I don't know. Does that whatever their cap situation they feel like getting into? For me, I was never comfortable with that. I felt like Siakam's a $40 million a year guy at the highest. In some ways, Fred's overpaid, and in some ways he could gauge that. Well, Fred's making 43, I should be making 50, because in some ways that's a good argument. But it's up to the team whether they want to pay the prices for these guys. In some ways, the Pacers and the Knicks, they got some tough decisions to make this summer. They really, really do. Chris is saying Team Canada, SGA is now playing like Jordan. Unreal last night. And as for Mr. Marquise Noel, he is talking crazy talk now. He's a biblical visionary of basketball now. He'll be lucky to make a roster. Shaking my fucking head. I know. It sucks because we're big fans of him. And he has huge fans for Kansas State. And some of them are already saying, fuck the Raptors. Fucking come back and kick their ass. There are other people from other nations are saying, come to our team so you can beat the Raptors and get revenge. There's a little bit of that going on with his fan base for him personally. As far as they feel the hurt of him and they hate us or they're mad at us because they think we just cut him. Man, this is a bad situation. Marquise, go talk to Ron Harper Jr. and get some perspective from him, the son of Ron Harper Sr., who knows the NBA and understands the business. Well, what did Ron do? He shut up. He didn't badmouth the Raptors. He may have been hurt about the things, but he also understands he got hurt for the season. And in some ways, business decisions got to be made. In some ways, Ron Harper Jr. is smart and he understands. Don't burn that bridge with the Raptors because it could circle back at some point down the road. And that's the lesson that Marquise may need to realize right now. It's not good to, go to a place and burn that bridge with that place as soon as you leave. You can't. Not everybody's James Harden. Not everybody's James Harden able to do this. Let's just put it that way. Seriously. Yeah, SGA is awesome. They're interviewing SGA after the game. And he's got like the Jalen Williamses on his shoulders. These guys are funny. They're like little comedians. I'll bet they do little routines in the back where hi, Jalen Williams. Hi, Jalen Williams. They probably do all kinds of cute shit like that. Well, they're standing there while SGA is doing his post-game interview, and the interviewer says, why are you so consistent? And SGA goes, my life is very consistent. That's why. And the guys are like, oh, bomb. They're like the Williamses. They're like behind him going, oh, freaking out and acting like they're his hype men or something like that. It's hilarious. SGA, you're a badass. And I'm so glad you're from my community in Ontario. And I can't wait to see you play for Canada this summer. I can't wait to see you get MVP this season for the NBA because I see it coming, my guy. Let's go, SGA. I'm all about SGA excelling and becoming more like Jordan, like Chris is saying. It's so good. It is so good. Yeah, it is so good. Nako saying nothing wrong with being religious. It just feels petty, and the Lord wants you to turn the other cheek. That's right. That's what I'm saying. I'm not being anti-religion here. I'm just saying, like, look, we can look at Emmanuel quickly and how he deals with his religion and his praise, and it's very humble. Every time he gets on the mic after the game, he's like, first of all, I have to give God praise, the Lord, for giving me the blessing of the gifts that I have, that I'm able to play this way on the court. In some ways, that's where you start. And I've heard Noel say this kind of stuff before, but in some ways right now, he's too fire and brimstone. And that's not going to get you anywhere. I'm going to tell you that right now, Marquise. That's not going to get you anywhere. You're going to threaten people and say, I'm the chosen one. And if you don't do it, you're going against the Lord. That's crazy talk, my guy. That is crazy talk in some ways. That it very much is crazy talk. Yeah, nothing wrong with being religious. It's just, let's be positive in religion. Let's use religion for good things, like the things it's intended for. It's goodwill and fellowship and looking out for the community and everybody. That's what religion is. A lot of people are got it messed up what religion is right now. And they do things like the mega churches and the pastors making all the millions of dollars, having mansions. No, that's not religion. That's a fucking crook stealing your money. Yeah, in some ways, religion's been hijacked. Religion, if people really want to get with Christ in the United States, they'd start feeding the homeless. They'd start housing the homeless. They'd start being open borders and allowing everybody to come here. They'd be more humanitarian and looking out for each other. You really want to be Christ-like. That's how you would be. And there's a lot of people down south acting like they're all about Jesus Christ, but they're not acting the way Jesus Christ would be happy with them. That's what I would say right there. It's like, what do they want? They want, well, the people, they need clothing, they need food, they need housing. Then give it to them, is what Jesus would say. That's what they would say, instead of all these greedy ass motherfuckers, these big corporations buying up all the housing, and meanwhile single moms and people can't buy the houses because the big corporations outbid them. And then it's all fucked. It's not very Christ-like. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. And that's just how it is. It's like they've hijacked religion to be something else that is not. Humanitarianism is religious Christdom in the right way. And Gary Trent Jr. doing what he's doing, that is very Christ-like, to be out there promoting getting better health screenings. That's the kind of stuff. How's the people in the park? That's what Christ would want you to do. You jabronis. Churches that tell people that you can't have homeless people outside my church. That is not Christ-like. You're not a very good church, is what I'm saying. The church is supposed to be there for everybody, homeless or whoever is out there. And when churches are starting getting mad and like homeless people camping outside on their grounds, well, that's not a very good church. Switch your church is what I'm going to tell you right there. Yeah, switch your church. That's right. Cool Cat saying Marquise is another example of athletes that has to be super confident about their goals and destiny. It's important for their motivation and hunger to succeed. Yeah, they can't have it any other way, because they have any other destiny, well, it's failure, and they'll get depressed and really bad. I get this. There's a problem with the ego of young players right now. There's a problem, and Jamal Crawford and other people have talked about it. It's the parents. It's the people around them to teach them that they're the best thing since buttered toast, that they really can do no wrong. There's pampering. There's not a reality with these youngsters. There's nobody telling them the damn truth. There's everybody blowing smoke up their ass and tell them, oh, how good you are, how good you are. You're just so good. You're just so good. They're not getting the reality checks. Well, Marquise gets a reality check with his hamstring injury. He needs to understand that. Everybody's going to prop him up, say this and this and this. If he gets it in his head, ego, boom. Oh, man, that's no good. That's why some of these young players are soft. That's why some of these young players they're spoiled, and they want everything for them. Because everybody's been yes men and carrot card. It's the LeBron effect. It started when LeBron was little, and they pinpointed him, and they just kissed his ass like crazy. Well, every huge prospect that comes up after that has been treated that way. And in some ways, these young players are coddled more than the old players that really earned it and understand how it means to earn it. Some of these young players want it granted to them. And this is part of the problem right here. I'm not saying this specifically about Marquise. I'm just saying that this mentality of coddling with parents in the AAU system is a problem right now. And that a lot of these youngsters do not have a very realistic grasp of reality and what's going on with them. Miles Burns is another example. This guy has done limited things on the 905, but he had a good game last night. He was one of my 3 stars. But there's been a lot of games where he hasn't done stuff. In some ways, in his own head, he has a whole idea of the player he is. Well, how's that translating on the court with Eric Curry? How's that translating on the court there? Well, he may blame the team and not playing enough. He'll make all kinds of excuses for why, and he's still one of the best. Listen, the results will show. Y'all get out there. You do what you do. You put in the work, you'll get it. But if you think you're just going to get it because you're an anointed one or you've been touched by God, you're fucking crazy. You got to put that work in, and you got to do the reality of it. Listen, you can believe God's on your side. That's great. That doesn't mean it's all laid out for you for sure. And that hamstring should have been that reality for Marquise Noel. Nothing is for sure, and anything can happen. And if anything, you're praying at night that you will stay healthy so you can continue to excel at your craft. Not, that's what you would be thinking about right there. Oh my gosh. Yeah. MSJ saying if Pascal gets a max, I would be shocked. And honestly, considering Marquise Noel, best for us fans to walk away, slowly walk away. He's gone full Messiah. Ha ha ha. Yeah, this is just not a good look. You went radio silence once you got lost the 2-way. You should have stayed there. You coming back on all of a sudden. It's almost like he's I don't know what he's doing. In some ways, I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. But I'm just warning him. I'm only saying this as somebody who cares about the best for him in the future and him being good. Now, if he gets to the point where he hates the Raptors, he wants to come back and kill us, so be it. So be it. In some ways, I won't be worried about that. Fiercely saying, Marquise should be careful. Justin Champagny posted free me, and his wishes were executed. Just saying. Ever since I lost count of the number of teams he's passed. Well, Justin went to Sioux Falls Skyforce, and he was on the South Dakota team playing in South Dakota. I don't know which is better, Mississauga or South Dakota. I picked Mississauga. And now he's on the Wizards all of a sudden. I mean, the path can be fraught with, misery and ups and downs and all kinds of stuff. He didn't make the Heat, and now he's on the Wizards. So it is what it is. That's what I'm saying. You guys may have a burning desire to express yourself on social media. It will shoot you in the foot, is what I'm saying. The smartest people are like Kawhi Leonard. They don't say jack shit. The more people can be like Kawhi Leonard, the better. Scotty's really measured with his social media. He's jumping in there only every once in a while. And in some ways, he's very smart about it. Very, very smart about it. If I was an NBA player, I'd be like OG and Kawhi. I wouldn't be posting jack shit. I'll be radio silence. My life is private, and ain't nobody knowing nothing about me or my psychology or what I'm thinking about. If I was, seriously, it just makes more sense because in some ways you give a weakness to other people the more you reveal about yourself in public life. That's why Kawhi Leonard is so smart to me, because nobody knows jack shit about him. He doesn't do social media any kind of way. Any kind of way. Wayne saying, Lexicon, please don't read somebody's biblical rhymes and make any assumption on what it means. God ain't taking sides in sports. All this praying is personal. Leave that shit alone. Well, I'm just saying, I interpret in some ways, yeah, I am a jackass for making assumptions. I make an ass out of myself because I assume things all the time. It's just part of what I do on this channel. But the thing is, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong and do full, apologies. That's part of the thing. It's kind of like I'll say shit that may be out of pocket and I'll apologize later. That's my philosophy. Some people don't have the pride where they can apologize. And I'm not one of those people. So this gives me license to assume to an extent. Once again, I'm not a regular press. I'm a fan. And everybody has their own opinions and they can be wrong. And especially if I'm presented with facts that can teach me otherwise, I will amend my opinions quickly and apologize and say I was wrong. Now, I'm just reading what he's putting out there. I'm just looking at the whole situation, and maybe I am misinterpreting it. Maybe it is something that's not even Raptors related. Maybe there's somebody else that he has posted that with in mind. But I can look at the situation and kind of assume that this is what it is. I don't know. Either way, Fiercely saying, Marquise, yeah, you got this spell right. Cool Cat saying, I personally, Marquise is 5'7" and Wemby's like 7'5". That's part of the challenge. I saw Pascal look like a dwarf, and he's 6'10". Look, I don't think that his height is the problem. In some ways, it's just the injury. I really think he could play in the NBA. I believe in him. I hate to see what happened to him this season. And I'm rooting for him. Even if he's mad at us, I'll still root for him. Now, if he turns around and he's really vicious and angry towards us down the road, well, I can't be rooting for him anymore. But right now, I'm still rooting for him until he really does become like DJ Augustin. If he becomes a DJ Augustin, well, that's how it is. I guess that's how it is. It's his choice. It's his choice. Yeah. Randolph saying, Saturday morning blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks and most informative gang on game day. Thank you, Randolph. I appreciate it. Just need the boys to keep showing their development and keep growing together as a team for the future. That is the best wish. I'm excited. Our team is fun to watch. We got people like Grady Dick. We got people like Scotty Barnes to look forward to, growing to new and higher levels. There's lots to look forward to with the Raptors. This rest of the end of the season may be interesting, but next year, clean slate. Let's go at it and start anew and hopefully be a playoff team next year. That's what I'm hoping. Chris is saying, but I wish Marquise all the best. He's going through it at the moment. Good luck to him. That's exactly right. Like, I care about the guy. I really do like him. Like, I love it. May be that because he was born on Christmas, he feels like he's some sort of chosen one. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is exactly. In some ways, the injury is part of checking your ego, Marquise. That may be part of the lesson you don't even understand, is that it may be your higher power is trying to teach you a lesson of checking your ego is part of the lesson in this. Seriously, it could be that. Yeah. Fiercely saying, all good, Lex. They get Precious. We got IQ. We needed a great point guard, and he's delivering. OG has his strengths, and so does RJ for us. I'm happy with the trade, too. I am, too, also. Of course, New York's going to see everything from their side, and they're just going to feel like they fleeced us. They're wrong, though. RJ has increased his numbers. He's playing way better for the Raptors than he did for New York. And IQ has a huge ceiling that in some ways they're going to see IQ in the next few years, and be like, they're going to kind of regret that. maybe as much as I regret the Precious thing. Some ways I'm not going to worry about OG. OG's OG, and we paid for his services for while he was here, and it just wasn't going to be a part of our future. I've let go of OG quite cleanly since he left. And some people may get really upset about seeing him in a Knicks jersey and things like that, but I don't. I knew that he was on his way out, and in some ways, he wasn't long for us. I knew that that was just the case. So I've already kind of let go of him. I'm more connected to Siakam still and feeling things about him than OG at this point. And Precious, well, I'm just glad he's proven me right that he is a really good player and he's kicking some ass right now. Yeah. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, I expected Precious to succeed. His role is defense first. Raptors traded defense for offense in the OG Precious trade. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We got better offensively, but not as good defensively all of a sudden. Yeah. Yeah. Wayne's saying this. He's feeling attacked because I'm saying this. Really, Lex? We really going there with Precious? The guy is on a lease. Go find out how many 3-point attempts he's made in New York. He does two things: rebounds and blocks. Knicks out in the first round. Yeah, he hates that I said that. I wasn't attacking you, Wayne. But if you were one of the anti-Precious people, well, maybe I was. I'm just saying I was right. Precious is a really good player, and he's going to continue to be good for them. He's a double-double machine that gets blocks. I don't know. Let me go look at his. I'll go look at his stat line specifically because, like, honestly, he had a really good game last night. He was the player of the game for the Knicks last night, and I mean, that says something right there. All right, he had in 39 minutes, he was 6 of 16. He did make 2 out of 4 threes, so he was 50% from the three-point line. He was 1 for 2 at the free throw line. That's no good. 14 rebounds, 15 assists, 15 points, 4 assists, 2 steals, 5 blocks, a plus 25. The highest plus minus on the Knicks last night. I'm just saying, he has played really solid for them in the starting lineup. We could have played him in the starting lineup the whole time he was here in Toronto, and he would have done the same damn thing. In fact, there were times when he did start, and he did do this. Some Raptors fans are like, why didn't Precious do this for our team when he was here? I said, he did, actually, y'all. Y'all are not paying attention. Maybe too often y'all were seeing all the shitty games that he had, but I saw the really good games he had when he was on our team. And there were a couple times he started for us in the years he was on our team, and he absolutely had a stat line like he did last night. I'm just saying, I know Precious is a good player. And I'm just saying, I'm getting evidence from last night. And, you know, you think they're going to be out in the first round? Well, if they're out in the first round, they're out in the first round. I won't be upset about that. But I think New York will do all right. It depends on how healthy they are. If they can get all their guys back and get a stretch of time where they get warmed up for the first round, they could go somewhere. That really depends on Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, Isaiah Hartenstein, OG, all coming back and being healthy and playing. Yeah. Wayne, we're going to disagree on Precious, but I know Precious is a good player. I've never ever thought he was a low IQ bad player, and he's proven it right now. Cool Cat saying, I was thinking if New York Knicks don't pay OG, Pacers might bring him back to his Hoosier college state. Some NBA owners don't have an issue paying for talent they want. That's the thing. Some of it is like the situation with each franchise. Like some of these franchises have a carte blanche, spend as you wish. Golden State, New York franchises often have this, like the Yankees. Well, in some ways, the Knicks may have carte blanche, and it doesn't matter how much they pay OG because they will go into the luxury tax and they don't give a shit. And they'll be like, yeah, we're going to pay all of our guys because we just want to have a good team. Matasheba is spending a ton of money in Phoenix, and he doesn't care. So teams will overpay people, like Houston overpaid Fred. It can happen. Now, our specific situation is dubious. We don't know how much MLSE, Rogers, and Bell hold the purse strings on Bobby and Masai. They've said that they have a green light to spend money and go get guys. They're not hindering them, but there's something probably within reason. There's like levels. You know, if Steve Ballmer, Matasheba will spend like crazy for the Clippers and the Suns, the Knicks may spend way more crazy than us, but we may have to work within what MLSE will allow us here with Bobby and Masai. So that may be part of it also, is like Pascal and OG may get those big paydays on other teams, partly because MLSE and Bobby and Masai were not totally comfortable in investing that amount of money here with them because they want the flexibility going forward. And I think that that's the biggest part of the whole thing with the exits of Anunoby and Siakam this year in the trades is that they want the flexibility and tying up those big chunks of salary cap on those guys. Well, in our market with our situation, it may not be the smartest thing. In New York, in Phoenix, those kind of places, those guys don't care. They got a ton of money and they're just going to throw it at people. So I think that that's part of it right there. Yeah, Nako's saying Shaden's going to be the Blazers' future. He's definitely got hops. He's definitely a great Canadian. And yeah, I'm excited about him in Team Canada play. I want to see him at some point be playing for our country. And yeah, he's going to be interesting. It's too bad he's not playing tonight. I'd actually like to see him play because I like to see him play more. I haven't seen enough of him. I remember in the first game of this we played them, there was one play where Scotty stole the shit out of the ball from him. He had the ball and Scotty just took it from him. He just took the ball from him, went down the other end of the court and jammed it. Yeah, Shaden Sharp's interesting. He's definitely got height, high jump. Anthony Edwards, holy crap, hitting his head on the rim. Let's see. Cowboys saying me to Fiercey OG was my guy, but getting Skipley and Southpaw Barrett and what the pick gets us. Great trade. Big up to all the Southpaws. We're a rare breed. All right, there you go, Bradley. Lefty, just like RJ. All right, Isaac's got a Grady Dick on blast. Cool. Chris is saying, unless I love a player for the basketball they play, like SGA or Jokic, they're the enemy, including former Raptors. On court, I always hated former teammate, laugh out loud. Always went at them harder when you were playing. Precious, Fred, Pascal, OG, none good enough to love them, in my opinion. They all wear the wrong jersey these days. Well, that's you, Chris. In some ways, because we're not that good at this point and we don't really have a rooting interest for the rest of the season, I'll vicariously root for former Raptors that I love. That's why I'll root for the Clippers to win the championship. That's why I will root for the Pacers to win the championship. I will root for the Pelicans to win the championship. I don't necessarily want the Knicks to win the championship, but I do want them to do well. I don't think that they should win the whole thing, but any little bit of success for them. Houston's not really in the picture, but I will root for the Rockets because of Fred. It's all each individual's choices. In some ways, it's some of the players that you didn't like them. Well, you don't have to root for them when they're gone. Malachi Flynn. So it's just personal choices. Let's see. Nako's saying using religion as inspiration is fine, not when you're using it to act like you're owed something. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty good. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like he's trying to threaten somebody. That's what it sounds like to me. Let's see. Chris is saying at Nako, yep, IQ, though, has it right as he gives thanks in a humble manner. God has no plan for Marquise Noel to play basketball. Laugh out loud, please. That's what I'm saying. That's where it gets dangerous. When people start thinking they're anointed, chosen ones and stuff like that, that gets into like Egyptian pharaoh shit. Like, I am the chosen one and do not defy the chosen one. Oh, I'm with you on this. Randolph saying Noel was listed as hurt by the commentators in the last game, so he seems to still be with 905. Hope he comes back next year and tries again. He has potential. I want this path also. I really want him to be successful with us. I don't want him to be mad at us. I don't want him to be hurt long term. I want him to get his NBA career. I want the same things he wants. It's just frustrating and confusing when you're hurt. That's what it is. And I'm glad you said that, Randolph. I didn't hear that. But thank you for mentioning that the commentators mentioned that he was just hurt and he's still on the 905. That's good confirmation. He was on the bench, so it made sense. Chris is saying it could be that SGA has messianic powers. That I believe. Laugh out loud. Well, maybe he's the chosen one and he touched Bismack Biyombo and he passed out. I don't know. See, that doesn't make no sense. No, SGA's told us why. He's consistent. His life is consistent. That's why he's so consistently good. He has a consistent life. He's very smart about his routine. He's smart with the consistent people around him. He does things consistently. He gets consistent results. You practice over and over again. Boom, you play like SGA. That's not a fluke. That's not because he was a chosen one. That's because he put in a lot of hard work and time and effort and hours and shots, and he perfected his craft. That's exactly what it is right there. Is just him working hard and repetition and the muscle memory and everything makes it happen that way. Consistent makes consistent results. And that's what SGA's message is right there. Yeah. Mo's saying W stream, Lex. Keep at it always. Let's go Raptors for life. That's right, Mo. I love you. And we're going to get to that NBA restaurant. They announced, just so y'all know, that the Larry O'Brien will be visiting the NBA Courtside Restaurant on the Queens Quay in Toronto, March the 2nd, no, March the 12th and March the 13th. So I'm guessing, what is that, next Tuesday or Wednesday? If you want a picture with the Larry O'Brien in the greater Toronto area, you can get that opportunity by making a reservation at their buffet on either the 12th or the 13th this week. The Larry will be in the building, but you have to go down there and eat their buffet to be able to get the chance for a photo op. So they're using Larry to get more business at the Courtside Restaurant in Toronto. Could be that they have horrible service by a bunch of Celtic fans and nobody's going there to the restaurant. And it's bad business. So they got to use Larry O'Brien, a trophy, to get more business to the NBA Courtside Restaurant in Toronto. So yeah, that just a little tip. Anybody who wants a picture with the Larry, you can go there and get it on the 12th and 13th this week at the NBA Courtside Restaurant. You just have to eat their shitty food. So there you go. There you go. There you go. Chris is saying on some of SGA's shots, they are so impossible, so well guarded. God is likely guiding them in. All right, I don't want to go on this motif too much longer. If we have a religion discussion sparked by people like Marquise Noel and Emmanuel Quickly today, it's fine. But I don't want to riff or make fun of religion, Chris. It's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm not the most religious person. I'm very secular, but I do also respect true religion, good religion that is very helpful for humanity and for people in their lives. And, real Christianity stuff is important. And I described it earlier. It's in service to humanity and each other. It could be good to your neighbor. And, a lot of people run around saying they're very into Christianity. They're not, because they're not practicing Christian practices or what Jesus Christ stood up for. That's all I want to say about it. In some ways, it's not my area of expertise. It's not something that's very important in my life. I have my own spirituality, but also at the same time, I don't want to be disrespectful to people that find religion very important. But I do feel like it's important to delineate the difference between real Christianity and what is proposed as Christianity in the United States these days. Because there's a lot of people down there that are saying they're Christians. They're not doing Christian things. Let's just say that. They're not making Christian decisions, or they have hate in their heart, and they don't have the love that a true Christian would have, is what it is right there. Yeah, let's keep going. Cowboys saying it's going to be nice to play against Banton. Let's go, Raptors. It's going to be fun. I don't want Delano to kill us. You think Delano Banton's going to be a Raptor killer tonight? I don't know. This will be interesting. I wonder how much he'll get up to go against his old team. It's not like he has a whole bunch of friends he's going against. He'll see Gary. And who else is going to be playing against that he really was around on this team? Everybody else is going to be completely new. So that could be very interesting. Very, very interesting. Are we see some Javon Freeman Liberty versus Delano Banton tonight? Probably. That's right. James is here. Good to see James. Shaden is another Canadian that could be a star in the future. We could have had him for OG, but Masai didn't want that. Well, I think that's a smart move because Shaden Sharp in some ways isn't developed to a certain point in his career yet. And if you made it like any kind of deal, I'd have to see the details exactly how it's fleshed out. But I'm glad he didn't make that deal. I think that the deal with OG was a very good deal. I'm very happy that we got 2 starters for OG. In some ways, we can say that. We got 2 starters for OG. And that's a big, big deal. Now, getting Shaden Sharp, that's not necessarily getting a starter. And what would the rest of that package be? So the Anunoby trade with New York was fantastic. We got 2 starters in it. And I don't know what we would have gotten from Portland. In some ways, Portland was not an attractive trade person for us at all. And especially what they were offering us back. It just wasn't that attractive. Jimmy's saying Precious could barely get boards for us. Glad to see him succeed, though. Yeah, I don't agree with that. He was getting tons of rebounds for us. He had a lot of good games. You guys are really just remembering his warts. You're remembering the turnovers. You're remembering maybe the threes that he probably shouldn't have took, and he's really was solid for us. In some ways, I get it. Maybe I'm being too much of a Precious enthusiast in the way I look at him, but honestly, I'm trying to look at him not like favoring or against or for him, and I just see a good player that's a double machine. A top-level defender that can guard all positions, and he's a really good shot blocker too. And I don't know. In some ways, I wish he was still a Raptor. I do. I definitely do. I regret him being a part of that deal. Out of all the guys who have left our team, in some ways, Achua is the one that I did not want to leave. Pascal was probably going to have to leave. OG was probably going to have to leave. I was overjoyed Malachi left. Thad, Otto, Dennis. In some ways, I'm upset about Dennis too. But Precious is the one that I was like not happy about the most. That Precious leaving this team was not a good thing. I really did want him to stay on the Raptors for a while. But they wanted him, and it had to be part of the deal. And we got 2 starters in that deal. So that's how I look at it right there. James is saying, Lex, do you think Sharp is better than RJ? No, at least not currently. At least not currently. I mean, I don't know. I haven't, once again, I have to preface this by saying I haven't seen Sharp enough. I think I've seen him like once or twice, and they weren't like in main roles. They've been off the bench, kind of role player and rotation, not starter. So I haven't really scouted Shaden Sharp enough to understand his potential ceiling. But right now, I would take RJ because he's a much more refined product, and he does have even more of a ceiling on top of what he's doing right now. So, but I have to say, I'm ignorant to Shaden Sharp, other than I know he's an extremely good athlete and leaper, but I haven't seen how much he shoots. I haven't seen him take threes. I haven't seen how he attacks the rim exactly. I haven't seen how his defense is. So I can't give him a proper scout completely because I really haven't seen him enough. So he could have a higher ceiling in the end, but I don't know. And I would just say right now, I'd prefer RJ because RJ is a much more finished, kind of really useful player at this point. In some ways, I get the feeling that Sharp is wild and that he may have, like, he may be more like Precious and needs a lot of things to kind of get sussed out and more fundamentally like consistent and not doing this and this. He may need to be more like rounding his game and cleaning it up in some ways. RJ's game is so clean right now, so I would prefer him. G saying, personally, I'm very happy with the OG trade. We have our Maxi like guard and a beast in RJ and the Pistons pick. We don't even know what that will turn into. I know. The pick in the second round is going to be huge. And man, both those guys are awesome. They're amazing to have. In some ways, that's the counterbalance. Everybody's so overjoyed to have OG and now Precious. Well, y'all, we got RJ. RJ has been fantastic. He's been such a real one for Toronto because he's a real one from Toronto. And IQ is exactly what G just said. We wanted a better point guard kind of situation, and we got it. In some ways, he wasn't going to have a future there with Brunson in his way. So it helps IQ immensely too. So this deal just helps everybody all around. I really do agree. James is saying, don't forget about the Indiana pick, which is around 15th. Yeah, there's a couple of Indiana picks we still have. We have 2 Indiana picks still. We only traded 1 away. And then there's the San Antonio protected pick. So right now we have 4 picks if we keep the San Antonio pick. That's why I think on draft day, we're going to trade like 2 of our picks and consolidate them for 1 pick. I don't think we'll pick more than 3 picks. If not, maybe only 2. I'm going to make that prediction. Let's see. Wayne saying, Lex, I never think you attack. Remember, you and I always took up for Precious. However, my only point is that his outcomes are way better, but his responsibility is less. Plus, he plays more minutes. Yeah, no, that's true. This is very fair. Yeah, it's all good, Wayne. You're one of my favorite people on this channel because a lot of your sensibilities are shared with mine, for sure. For sure. Yeah, all right. I want to look at this fairly. You're saying his responsibility is less. I think that right now, in some ways, it's a similar thing when we'd have him come in and like fill in for somebody who was hurt. Like say Pirtle was out and Precious had to play backup center. There were times that this happened last year. And he would do pretty good with a fill in, like with a double-double, something like that. He definitely is playing more minutes for the Knicks recently than a lot of the stretches. Even when he would start for us, he would maybe get a quick hook if he made some mistakes, and he may not get like between 30 to 40 minutes. He would play like 25 to 30. So he's definitely getting more minutes. I'll agree with this. I think your points are very valid. That his responsibility being less, I don't know if that's totally sure though. I think that his responsibility is to fill in for Mitchell and Isaiah. And as much as he does, he's doing a really good job. So I don't know. I get it. Maybe he's not having to be as all around as he was here. In some ways, that's Nick's fault. Nick said you can do whatever you want. We're a very laissez-faire about
your roles and trying stuff. And like, we want you to have fun. In some ways, people like Scotty and Precious ate that up because they're very versatile. So there's some stuff that we let him do here that he's not allowed to do. Tibbs won't let him do. And it's partly, some of it's that ball handling. And that's a big area where a lot of people were down on Precious because they saw him turn the ball over, like trying to dribble and do all kinds of stuff. Tibbs don't let him do that. So you're right. In some ways, that responsibility is not involved in New York, for sure. Yeah, Nick was all about bringing the ball up the quick. Well, Precious got the rebound, nobody outlet. He would bring the ball up himself. Thibodeau won't do that. So, yeah, you're right. You're right, Wayne. He has less responsibilities, and he is playing more minutes. And that is a factor in this. But he had games similar to like the one last night for us. Let's not get it twisted. Raptors fans, if you have a short memory, there are games I can go show you and game logs where Precious had double-doubles with like 5 blocks for us too. So it's not like, oh, where was he doing that for us? No, he was doing that for us too. He did have games like this in the 2.5 years he was with us too. So let's see. La, 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 la. All right, where are we? We're right here. Trevor's saying OKC comeback win over Miami had beat the second half. SGA scored 37 points. This guy's on fire. Awesome. I love that. Mo's saying, I don't want our problems in the chat. Thanks. No problem. There's no problem, Mo. I didn't say anything about no problem. I'm just excited about us going to the coach's open house and get into real sports. It's going to be awesome. I am really looking forward to seeing you guys and just having fun and getting together and having a good meal and having some laughs and conversation and just having a good time. That day's going to be awesome. It's going to be very long. It is a little bit of a long thing. It's like a 4-hour class. But afterwards, we'll relax. We'll have some food. And we'll just have a grand good old time. Mo, I love you. There are no problems. And I'm definitely, if there's any kind of things we're dealing with, we will deal with it privately. I don't think there are. Seriously. I think that we will get everything worked out for the best for both of us, for best, especially for you. James is saying, what SGA player comparison? Brandon Roy? You want to compare SGA to somebody from the past? Not Brandon Roy. No. You can't do that. Brandon Roy, I know that he was a lot better than people give him credit because he was hurt and he lost a lot of his career. But to me, he's not a good example. I need to check if there's Raptor birthday today. I haven't been checking that. I should do that. No, there is a birthday today. All right, I'll do this. We missed Patrick Mutombo's birthday on Thursday. I apologize. Today's birthday for the Raptors is former head coach Darrell Walker, second head coach in the Raptors history. Darrell Walker is how old today? He's born in 61. So he is 63 today. Happy 63rd birthday, Darrell Walker, former Washington Bullet and also Detroit Piston. A couple other teams he played for, Darrell Walker. He was a good guard. He was one of those rebounding guards. He was like Lafayette Lever. He's also a good assist man. But yeah, our former coach, Darrell Walker, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Yeah. All right, let's see. My comparison player for SGA may be Penny Hardaway. How about that? Penny Hardaway is the one I always say right there. Wayne's saying the game against Portland is a good gauge in terms of player quality. They're basically the same age cohort and experience. The major difference is Kelly and RJ, who should be difference makers. I agree completely, and Cowboy's giving you that one too. So we're going to give Wayne a dunk on that one because I honestly agree with him. I think you're exactly right, Wayne. The difference will be Kelly Olynyk and RJ Barrett because these guys are vets. In some ways, I'm looking at the other side. There's nobody on that other side. Malcolm Brogdon was playing. That may be that vet presence, but I don't see any good vets over on the other side. The leaders. There's going to be a very, very young-oriented game tonight between us and the Trailblazers. And Kelly Olynyk, RJ Barrett, their experience may be the factor. Chris Boucher maybe even too. Let's see. James is saying Precious would have gotten 30 minutes per game if he didn't get traded. He could have been a double-double machine for us. Yeah, if he was still on the team after all the smoke cleared after these trades recently, and he was still on the team right now, and we had Jakob out, like he'd be playing right now. He'd be starting, obviously, and he could be very much putting maybe even better numbers up for us. It maybe we're not winning completely, but he would be out there getting that kind of production for us right now, for sure. That's an interesting brain exercise. What would have happened if we'd gone through this trade flurry period without Precious leaving our team and he was still currently on our team right now? What would have happened in that instance? That's an interesting brain exercise, James. I like it. I'm going to give you a dunk too. because that isn't very interesting. Honestly, he may have been really helping us. Honestly, I don't know if any of these games would have been different outcomes because of things, but maybe, maybe. All right, I haven't given James a dunk yet. We're giving James his first dunk ever. That's a rite of passage, my guy. That's awesome. There's James's first dunk. Perfect. Let's see. Cool Cat saying Precious was always good defensively. OG filled in great for OG injuries. The issue is that Darko wanted a different role for Precious on the Raptors. Tibbs plays to Precious's strength. Precious was good under Nick Nurse. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to remember Precious under Darko this year, and maybe he didn't play as much all of a sudden. Yeah, the best games for Precious on the Raptors were with Nick Nurse. I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. Wayne's saying exactly, Cool Cat. His role is very defined and to his strengths. Tibbs put him in a box, and it's working. Nick Nurse took him out of the box. That was his whole philosophy. And that may be part of the reason why Raptors fans were frustrated with Precious, is because he was out of the box with Nick Nurse and not put in a box like he is with Thibodeau. That's a very good distinction, guys. We're figuring it all out. Let's see. Cowboys saying this offseason draft is going to be crazy. Trust him aside. This team will be fired next year. I posted a thing in our chat on Facebook of Masai and Bobby the year that Giannis was drafted, trying desperately to get Giannis. This clip has floated around a bit, but I put it in there again. And it's very telling and interesting. In fact, you see Bobby Webster meeting Larry Tannenbaum for the first time ever on that clip. So watch that. If you're on our Facebook group, well, there's a membership has its privileges. You can go watch this clip that I posted in there. Very, very interesting. And it's right at the beginning of Masai working for us. And you see a younger Masai and how hard he worked to try and get Anakumto. When he got drafted by Milwaukee that day, he was on the phone trying his damnedest to get him. Trying his damnedest. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, I wanted Precious and Grady for Scotty defense and offense. Precious locked down Embiid for us in the playoffs. Precious was our best athlete. Raptors don't want specialists, prefer multi-skilled players. Yeah, I wish he could have stayed. I think that's just the general sentiment from me. Some people have different ideas about it. Fiercey saying, W stream fam, and let's beat the Pacers tonight. Let's beat Portland tonight, Fiercey. Let's beat the Blazers tonight. That's right. Let's see. Wayne saying, talking of Darryl Walker, he was the real reason Tracy left. Tracy complained he was constantly blamed when things went wrong by his coach. Walker resigned by sending a fax. Worst coach ever. Yeah, in some ways, he was hired because he was best friends with Isaiah. That is a big reason why he got the job. Of course, Brandon Malone only coached 1 year, and they scrambled and brought in Darryl Walker the second year. Darryl Walker was our coach for like 2 years. He was only here for like a rookie of Tracy. Now, he did mishandle Tracy McGrady, but that wasn't the reason why Tracy left. It was part of the bad taste at the beginning. But then Butch came in, and Butch took care of things with Tracy way better. And he was a lot happier with Butch Carter. But then Butch Carter had his old bullshit with Marcus Camby in the feud. And that caught things all weird on our team all of a sudden. The real reason why Tracy left is once again because people got in his head and told him he would never be able to be his full potential in the shadow of Vince Carter. It wasn't until Vince showed up that Tracy started to want to leave. I mean, we did mishandle him early. Darryl Walker was a not a good coach, and he did do damage with Tracy. You're exactly right. But the ultimate reason why he left was the bullshit lie that Tracy McGrady could not become a full-fledged superstar in the shadow of Vince Carter. And that is it right there. That's it right there. But yeah, Walker was not a good coach in the Raptors history. This is definitely for sure. And in some ways, you don't hear about him anywhere anymore, do you? No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't hear about him in any kind of way. In the NBA or anything about his career or nothing. And he did have a fairly good career. He was an all-star in the 80s. So it's weird. He's just one of these guys that just gets forgotten in the history of time. Trevor's saying Darko is going to turn this team into such a badass team. We might have 3 all-stars next season. The East Conference better looking because we're coming back. You know, we get 3 all-stars. That's amazing. That means that we're very much the top team, and we've done it so well that they will do it. That is not going to happen. You know, we could think we can get 2 all-stars. One's very realistic. 2 is almost a reach. 3 is absolutely unrealistic. They don't give 3 all-stars to the Celtics, and what they're doing this year, they're not going to give 3 all-stars to us next year, Trevor. You're crazy. You are crazy. They will if they expand the rosters, maybe, but that's not likely even then. We'll be lucky if we get 1. If we get 2, I'll be ecstatic. We'll just say that. Even with us winning, I'm just saying it's just how it is. Country Kong saying, Lex, NBA Chef posted a video on Grady that was great to hear. He described exactly what makes me excited about Grady's future. He said Grady could replace Steph as the greatest shooter in the NBA. That's really cool. And I mean, I won't disagree with it. Once again, it's about repetition. It's about the hard work. It's about how many times you've done it to make it consistent and confident. SGA stuff I was just talking about, you can apply it to Grady. Grady's taken so many shots over his lifetime, and he has a certain fundamental shot and a certain way of doing it. Well, I can see what Chev is saying, and I don't think he's crazy. I mean, it's going to be tough. That people will say that, and you'll be like, "You're crazy." You really think you can be like Steph on that level of percentages? And we like, yeah, Grady has the tools, and if he stays healthy and he has the right people around him, he keeps progressing. Yeah, I can see this too. I don't think Chev's crazy on this. And this is part of the reason why you love Grady. I love him too. This reason too. Yeah, Cool Cat saying, Lex, I'm with you. I wanted Precious to stay. My vision was Scotty, Precious, Grady, Coloco, and it got shattered by unforeseen circumstances. Yeah, Coloco too. Coloco, that is a big blow for us. We've had a lot of on the down low bad things happen this season. A lot of things. And we weathered the storm. We've gotten through. I mean, Scotty breaking his hand is a bad thing. Coloco not continuing his NBA career is a bad thing. You know, the team not gelling at the beginning of the year and the nucleus we had, that was a bad thing, because that honestly would have been a totally different path if we had decided to keep the old team together and invest in it. But they decided, no, it's not going to work. And now we're going into the great beyond of unknown. And we have to see what happens. We get good young talent, and we continue to grow and develop and get better and better over time. That's the best way to do it. Yeah. Yeah, I wish Precious was still a Raptor, especially after games last night. All right, let's do the recap for everything for today, and I'll get out of here. Adrian will be happy. Let's see. First of all, the injuries for the Portland Trailblazers tonight. Jabari Walker is his hip. He's day-to-day. Jeremy Grant is day-to-day. It's his hamstring. They both didn't play last night. We'll see if they play tonight. DeAndre Ayton has been ruled out for last night. We'll see. He's probably likely ruled out for today, too. It's his hand. Scoot Henderson ruled out last night. We'll see if he's ruled out again today for his thigh. Shaden Sharp is out. It's his abdomen. Malcolm Brogdon is out. It's his elbow. Robert Williams III is out. So seriously, that's like a starting lineup of people that is out. Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton, Scoot Henderson, Shaden Sharp, Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams III. Yeah, we're going to see Delano Banton, Moses Brown, and Anthony Simons. That and Chris Murray and Matisse Thybulle. That's the lineup we're seeing tonight. It's the B team, maybe even the C team of the Portland Trailblazers. They have 17 wins all season. They've won 2 out of their last 13 games. So, yeah, we need to beat this team. We need to beat this team, even in our weakened state. On our injury list, we got DJ Carton. He's not playing already. He's already ruled out tonight. Bruce Brown Jr. is already ruled out tonight, and so is Jakob Poeltl and Scotty Barnes. And that is the injuries for the Raptors. The referees for the game today, Kevin Cutler, the big guy, is the crew chief. He favors the Raptors. Scott Twardowski is the second ref. He favors the Trailblazers. And Derek Richardson is the third ref. He favors the Trailblazers also. But the ref crew, I don't know. Kevin Cutler can be a little shady. I don't totally trust Derek Richardson, even though he's a good guy. And Scott Twardowski, no. This crew, I don't think that they're going to manipulate, though, because these are 2 young teams nobody gives a shit about. So if they're doing anything fishy, biased towards the Trailblazers, that just means they hate the Raptors. All right, let's see. Is there anything else I missed as far as talking about stuff? Oh, the 905 loss to the Mad Ants last night by 39 points. My 3 stars of the game were Jamias Ramsey, Miles Burns, and Daryl Morsell. We did the Instagram stories. Delano Banton had 30 points last night against Houston for the Blazers, so he is their leading scorer for the Trailblazers. We're going to see tonight Toronto's own Delano Banton playing for the Rip City Trailblazers. We'll have to see how that goes. All right, I think that's pretty much it. Check your fantasy teams. If you got a fantasy team, get them updated and played and get your moves done. I see that JP has dropped Karl Anthony Towns to get Jose Alvarado. And there's Davis Bertans on MK's team now. Yeah, Jeff Doughton Jr. is on Duke Rocks' team all of a sudden. All right. Happy birthday, Darrell Walker. Even if you're not one of the greatest Raptors coaches, it is your birthday today. So we'll say happy birthday to you. Yeah. Let's see. Cool Cat saying Grady has the goal to be legendary in NBA. He will, as well as Scotty. I really see Grady and Scotty as our duo. I can see that too. It's very fruitful pairing. And I think that this is very true. Grady's very cognizant of it. He says, Scotty's going to make my life easier, and I'm going to make Scotty's life easier. And that's a great symbiotic basketball relationship. If you make his life easier and he makes your life easier, hey, that's the best thing. You guys can excel together. Scotty, Barnes, Grady Dick. Tag team action on that court, looking out for each other. That's right. Wayne's saying you're on point again in life lessons. Success depends on repetition. Unfortunately, maturity when young is the missing factor. Persistence is the key. I think that Scott gets this. I don't think that you make a leap like Scotty Barnes did this season without really understanding the consistency and persistence of SGA to do this. In some ways, Scotty's the good one. He's the right one. He's got this understood. Work silently and present your gains in front of everybody when you come back and you play this after the summer. And I feel like that if Scotty can do that again this summer, he can put in a lot of good work. Maybe there's some more leaps and bounds, and we come back with the fourth year Scotty that's even crazier better than this year's Scotty. So that's the thing. Scott's putting in that work we're talking about, Wayne, that consistent work, and it's showing. Everything matters is what Scott said. Everything matters. Everything matters. And he's believing in that motto from Darko. Everything matters. He's listening. Cool Cat's saying so many injuries in the league. Yeah, it's just that time of the year. And this is what will shape the playoff picture. With Karl Anthony Towns out, well, that's a little scary for the Timberwolves. The Embiid injuries really hurt the Sixers in their place in the standings. In fact, they're a play-in team at this point. And that's crazy. They were like number 1 or number 2, and the Sixers have fallen in the play-in because of Embiid's injury. Well, I predicted that last summer, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Country Kong saying, what if Grady surpasses Scotty? His potential is just as scary as Scotty's in some ways. Have a great day. Go Raptors. This is an interesting question, JP. I'm not going to just laugh at it like my initial reaction was. I want to laugh at your comment, but I have to take this seriously because in some ways there's things that Grady's shown that I did not realize he had, but we can't get this twisted. Look at Scott. Come on, man. Look at Scott. Look at the package of Scotty Barnes. And the talent package of Scotty is just way better than Grady's. That's just the damn truth. Now, Grady can have the sense of like the court and spacing and cuts, and he be a really, really exemplary shooter. But there's some things that Scott's going to be able to do that Grady can't. And Scotty can do anything on a basketball court. He can literally do anything. There's not a single thing that people do on the basketball court that Scotty can't do. So I'm not going to totally laugh at your comment. I hope that Grady can get to a similar level as Scotty, but that doesn't seem realistic. It really, really doesn't. You're talking about a franchise player, all-around guy like a Giannis or a LeBron, and then you're talking about a role player kind of like shooter. In some ways, maybe I'm wrong for calling Grady a role player, and I may pay for that later and saying, oh, JP, you remember I called him a role player. And say, Lex, you still think Grady's a role player? Maybe I'll eat my words at some point. But right now, I feel like he's going to be a role player. And he's not necessarily going to be like a secondary scorer like RJ or like even like a Emmanuel Quickly. I don't know. I'm just going to be pleasantly surprised. In some ways, I don't want to have expectations for Grady. I just want to let him grow and just be astounded by what he is that I did not realize he's going to be. And that so far, that's what's been happening in the last 2 months. There's a lot of things Grady's shown, and I'm like, wow, this is good. We can work with this. I just want to be more pleasantly surprised. I don't want to set the target like that with him because in some ways I will be disappointed if I do that. In some ways I'm going to just say what he is. And as he grows and gets bigger than what I thought he could be, I'm going to be like, yeah, this is awesome. So I'm going to do the opposite. I'm not going to say he can be like Scott. I'm going to say, I just want to see how he grows. And if he gets anywhere near Scott, I'll be happy. Let's see. Cowboy saying later, Lex and Raptor Freaks got to go to the old friend's funeral in a couple hours. Everyone have a safe day. Let's go Raptors all day, every day. Man, that give you perspective right there. Is just treat your loved ones right, treat people right, and cherish your time. Cherish your time. Life is too short for everyone. And yeah, that's a reality right there. Holy crap, Cowboy. I'm sorry to hear you're mourning a friend. Isaac Campbell saying much love to Bradley. And Cool Guy saying Greasy will be an all-star number 2 guy. He's got great ball IQ. You're talking about Grady, Greasy Grady. Cowboy saying right back at you, Isaac. And Nameless saying, I'll be honest, that doctor got a little carried away with that probe during my colonoscopy. Could have at least waited until the anesthesia kicked in. Okay, well, that's you don't have to pay extra for that, Nameless, just so you know. You don't. It's just a little freebie on the top of it. All right, let me just wrap up, guys. All right, I appreciate everybody watching me today. Let's go Raptors. To beat the Blazers tonight, let's be the more capable veteran team. Let's be the team with the more smarts and more consistency and more taking care of the ball, playing together on defense, gang rebounding, and get those rebounds over Moses Brown, and just be the better team. I believe y'all are the better team talent-wise tonight. So it's not like tonight we're coming into a game where we're going to get out-talented and we're going to be at a disadvantage. We have the talent advantage tonight, even without our big guys in. So let's go beat them. They have way more guys out that are important to them than we do. And we need to beat them with our guys, RJ, IQ, Kelly Olynyk, Gary Trent Jr., Oshai Abaji, Grady Dick. You guys need to go out there and prove you're the more talented squad on that court in Portland tonight. And I believe you will. And say hi to Delano Ben for me and Ashton Higgins. Yeah. Ashton Higgins is getting minutes for them. So I'll tell you right there. Name is saying he jumped the gun and tried to have a little fun before he started. Okay, all right, Nameless. All right, you're really encouraging people to get checked out here, Nameless. You're really helping Gary's cause. Cool guy saying Raptors will win tonight. That's right. I'm predicting that big W. Let's get it. We'll be on the winning wall tomorrow, and we'll all be smiles, and I'll have that Marquise Noel victory light on. Yeah. So G saying sorry for your loss, Bradley. Nameless. Oh my God. Yeah, he's out of control. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And join if you feel like it. You can watch the video of Masai trying to draft Giannis and not getting it. Yeah. You wish you were kidding. So that's a true story? Oh, man. All right. On that note, let's get out of here. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and join. And I'll be back tomorrow with the reaction to the game tonight. Late game, 10 o'clock. So stay up. Be ready for it. Saturday Night Fever, baby. Saturday night's all right for fighting. Yeah, let's go Raptors. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Raptors.